Welcome everybody to episode 14 of Calling Out of the Banter Box with Luke and Liguori. Saying it right?
That's perfect.
Perfect.
Probably me.
Well, most of us might know them from TikTok. Oh, look who's posting.
That's
I keep saying, oh, look who's talking.
Oh, look who's talking was
A thing?
a thing. It's a joke.
Is it?
Mummy, when we would go away on a boys' weekend, Mummy, when we
That's
would go,
the first time for me, sweet baby.
when we would go away on a boys' weekend, my ma's really nosy, so she'll ask you too many details. So, whenever we used to go away, like you go to Manchester for the weekend and stuff.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's just late.
Just flick my hair. Too much lacquer on it.
So when we'd go to Manchester, I would just tell you I was going to a book signing.
Right.
Just it stops the questions. And then I would just say, it was just a joke. The ongoing joke with my friends was I had a book called Look Who's Talking. And for my birthday, they printed out like a book. I made it like real official, and I had a book signing as a birthday party. But yeah, it was just to keep her fucked up because she asks everything. Like, you know.
Delighted?
Yeah. Delighted.
You were you?
Did he have a book and all?
We telling everybody.
Very many people have shown
But, oh yeah, tell her about it. I don't have a book, by the way.
We telling everybody in church?
No, fuck off you. But so like the other week I got my hair cut, right? And I come in, picked her up from her shop, and she comes in, she goes, "Oh God, your hair's lovely." I was like, "Oh, thanks." Who cuts your hair? And my thing's like if I told you, would you know the person?
I know.
That's the level of detail she goes in. Like you couldn't not lie on a night out.
Like, what harm was there in that now?
But if I said,
cut your fucking hair. I mean to say, if I said to you, he doesn't cut your hair, what would you say? Would you give me his name? Or her name even?
Yeah, I would.
Would it do any harm?
No, it wouldn't do any harm.
Because I might make an appointment and go and see her. Is that what you'd be afraid of?
He's jealous. He's scared.
He'd be afraid of me going to a Turkish barber.
I don't go to a Turkish
Coming
barber.
out with a big Turk in my arm.
Nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a Turkish barber. I don't go to a Turkish barber. Or like on a night out. Well, where'd you go? Like I had to move out. Like when like you want to move out. I physically had to, for reasons. She's too nosy. You come home. Where'd you go? And I'd be like, Belfast. We're in Belfast. Right.
Your man not ask you that when you were wee?
No.
Yes.
That's all.
What?
She's a young girl, like.
Aye, but did your mommy not ask you that whenever you go out?
Like where you
Home
went?
again, where did you go?
Yeah.
And
You
who
would you
went
tell the
with?
place?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't. Just
There's
say.
no harm, see? You see, and there, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
He's
That's
trying to
what
keep
I
you on your
say.
toes.
And then when he was living with me, I took it into my head one night. I was lying in bed. I thought to myself, now, I think I'd put my coat on tomorrow night and follow that fucker and see where he's going. And then whenever he comes home, I not even ask him where he was. I'll just say, did you have a good night at the Maverick or wherever?
Can't.
Did she follow you?
What? No, I think there was one night though. It was.
I'm imagining her with her coat up and her hood right up. Oh my God.
Won't be a first.
There was a night when I first moved home from America. You're a single person, right? Trying to meet a person on an app.
Yeah.
And just walked and got into someone's car who I knew, but she had a lot of questions about whose car that was.
Oh, he owned that car. Who's driving it? Where'd you go?
Exactly. This is the level. Yeah.
And how did you know that? The fella, was it a fella or was it a girl?
Yeah.
You know, when it's dark, you don't know.
That's what it's talking about. You actually
Really
don't.
fucking
But
don't
imagine
know
coming home at 26, like moving in with your ma for
Yeah.
a while, and her following you up up the street.
Well, I would say that I'm not the only person who's ever done that.
That's true. So you moved away. He lived away for a while, for years, didn't it?
Yes, he went away with Project Children when he was 10.
Yeah. Is that like the summer thing you done?
Yes,
Yeah.
for underprivileged children. Not
Yeah.
that we were underprivileged or anything, but and he
My
came
sister ran the two, to be honest.
he came out of a big family of 6. So anyhow, he went, and me and my dad went to pick him up on the Springfield Road again off the bus.
Yeah.
Fuck, his head was sitting out in his head. He was roaring and crying and roaring and crying. He had cried the whole fucking way from New Jersey to Springfield Road. And I kept saying to him, my son, now come on, I'm sure you're delighted to be home. Then every time he opened his mouth, there was this great American accent.
Was there?
Boy, was I disgraced. Well, I didn't want to take him anywhere. I really didn't, in case he would open his gob, you know.
So I cried the first 3 weeks when I was there because I missed home.
And then you adjusted
and then
it?
I adjusted.
Great, the next
I
3
cried,
weeks when you
yeah,
come home.
when I came home.
So did you send them back?
Well, they sent a ticket for him every year.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
They did. They talked to him. They fell in love with him, and that was all right. Then I started going over during the 6 weeks that he was over.
Yeah.
Just to see. Well, they invited me just to see what they're, you know, what.
Want to make sure I was all right. Like I think it was a bit suspicious that every year, like you're only supposed to go once.
Yeah.
That was it, and every year I was going back to. I was about 14.
Well, anyhow, I went over and Jesus Christ, I near died when I seen the houses. See on beds alone. I'd be in the fracture clinic every fucking day. They were that high off the ground. I definitely would, you know.
Lap of luxury, like.
Total. I would needed the steps that you would have at a bunk bed for to get up into them. But the life that they led was something else, like, and the cash that they had.
Well, they didn't really have money. Like they were middle class. It would look like money to us.
Aye.
But they ended up being
looked like money to me.
Yeah, so obviously Belfast back in Lisburn, but a bit weird back in the day, right?
Yeah.
A lot of riots, whatever. They were supposed to come over one winter, and there was a bit of noise in the town, so we had to cancel the trip.
Actually?
Yeah, and then when they found out, they were like, "Oh,
Troubles.
yeah."
Troubles.
They were like, "Luke can't live here anymore," and they asked me to go to house, like, come over and live.
But they came over.
What age were you?
14.
So they asked you to come over and live when you were 14 then?
Well,
Yeah.
they told me that they would like to try him out in one of the schools and see how he done, and could he stay for a year? And he begged and begged and begged and begged me to let him go for a year, and I thought, right, I'll let him go for a year. Then they come over, you see, for to coax me into this, and was I disgraced after I'd seen their fucking houses? And there I have the big fucking fire yard in front of the fire, the open coal fire, and they couldn't understand what that was. They really could not understand what it was. So I could fed them well and all, done my best. Like, but it wasn't the food that they would have been cooking.
No.
And
Like
then
a
you
Marks and
held
Spencer's?
hands around the table and said prayers over in their place, but we didn't.
So I didn't know, as young as I was, I just thought, when you go over and it's like Protestants and Catholics, and the whole idea is you mix and then you come home and the issues of the past fall away and yada, yada, yada. So I just thought we went to church just as part of that program. And,
Church? Oh.
right? I didn't actually realize that these guys were like crazy, I'll call them crazy Christians.
Total.
Were they?
Psychos.
There was about 30 people in their church, and they were like boat people.
The cults?
They had
Yeah.
hijacked people that were getting off the boats at the time
Yeah.
to bring them to their church, to make it look good.
Wait, so was this all like, it seemed like a dream at the start, and was it
Yes, it really, really did seem like a dream. High school, then the older you kind of just got, the more I realized who I was.
Yeah.
And started to realize the surroundings that I was in. I think we come from a very liberal family, even though you're a crazy...
Lower class.
we come from a very liberal,
Sailor.
very liberal family as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
Oh, aye.
And I just felt...
I brought up free spirits.
Yeah.
They were all free spirits.
Went to mass still.
Let the free birds fly.
Christ, we're going to offend one whole part of the community. Right? So the older I got, right? The older I got, I realized that I was in for some... I knew I was gay since, like, I was 10, right?
And so did I. I'm going to tell you. He went to Holy Trinity Nursery School, right? All my boys went to it. And it was upside the graveyard. And I went up to collect him one day. And I walked in, and there he is, out in the play-yard, with a pair of high heels on about that height. A long dress. Right, wait for it. the biggest picture hat that ever you've seen in your fucking life, and a string of pearls. Wow. I went over to the headmistress. I says, Maureen, get them off him now. And she says, now, Liguori, hold on a minute, let me explain. I says, no, let me explain. I says, he's gay. And I know he is. I says, but, you know, you have to draw the fucking line somewhere. So she says, we let all the children wear just whatever they're dressy up, play stuff. You know, I says, well, I don't want to come back and see him clad like that again. So, anyway, she kept saying to me, "Looks not gay." Every fucking time I went, they tortured me, and then the school nurse came on the thing. And my nerve says, tell her, look, McKibbon's mommy thinks that he's gay. So she called me over. And at this stage, it was Liguori. They were calling me. They were fed up with me. But anyway, the school doctor says, I believe you think Luke's gay. I says, he is gay. I says, it's not, there's no mince in your words. I says, my Luke is gay. G-A-Y. And she says, now, Liguori, don't say that because he's not. And we all know that he's not. I says, will I tell you something? I says, I had 5 boys. I says, and he's different to the rest of them. I says, no, he doesn't talk sissy at the minute. I says, but
at the minute.
I says,
there's nothing wrong with the femme queen either.
He doesn't play football or anything. I says, all these wee girls call for him going to school in the mornings. Is Lucky boy ready yet? And they carried a school bag. He was like fucking Prince. And I ended up calling him Prince Luke. And then he got all the great parts in the school plays. You know, because he was a great actor.
But the funny part of this is when I moved to America, Mummy ended up at a funeral like 20 years later, 10, 15 years later, at my geography teacher. This is, I don't want to say names, but it was a teacher at a funeral. And
that's right.
Mummy got a tap on the shoulder and said, there's a lady that wants to speak to you.
Round the corner.
And it ended up being the school doctor from years ago.
Was it?
My mum went over.
And here's me, I can't even remember her name. And she put her arms around me and she gave me a big hug and she says, Liguori, you were right about Luke. I says, yes, I fucking was. I says, there's not one of you believed me.
In the middle of the chapel.
You all thought I was fucking stupid. I says, but I wasn't. Definitely not. And she says, well, I apologise. I says, well, I'll think about accepting it.
And she thinks that's funny banter back, like, which is dead serious, and people just don't know how to take her sometimes. But yeah, so gay Luke in America, crazy Christians, and I remember we were like watching American Idol one. It was like Adam Lambert was on that year, and we were only allowed to vote as a family, 1 vote.
Actually,
so we all had to decide, and because he was openly gay, we weren't allowed to. And I think like a light went on in my head at that point. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble here." And then when I was like 18, I was like, I didn't come out. I was outed-ish, and I had to pack up and leave.
Did you?
Yeah, I just got an apartment at 18.
But the old hussy, the granny, she was lovely. The granny of the family. They had arranged that I would wait for my lunch with her one day. You see. But I always wondered, it was called Prickna Street Bible Church. And I thought to myself, now, fuck off. There has to be a saint or something in here somewhere. So, anyway, as soon as we got out of the car, the old hussy had parked, it was a big flash restaurant. And she says, Liguori, she says, have you been saved? Here's me, what from? This is what he means saved. And says, have you been saved by the Lord? He says, well, I never got knocked down or anything. I says, so I've never had reason to be like near death to be saved. And I said, look, Claire, wait to tell you something. And you called her Claire too, but you didn't spell their way. So anyway,
see the details she goes into.
I says, no, I will tell you something. I says, I'm not here to talk about religion to you. I says, so just leave it, please. I says, but could you please answer one question? I says, why is your church just called Prickna Street Bible Church? She says, well, now, she says, do you know, what the fuck did you call me, the Scottish fucker, Joe? Oh, I can't remember. remember. But once I heard that name, I
Oh,
knew
the evangelist.
the evangelist from Scotland. If you don't mind.
What was his name? I
Well,
don't know. Yeah.
My mother always said the devil is in them. Don't bother. You don't bother. The devil is definitely in them people. So I thought to myself, oh, good fuck. If I only knew that these shire bastards, shire devils, even were evangelists, I wouldn't have let them come over here.
Aye.
Definitely under no circumstances. Like,
Lesson
It
for
does seem a
them.
bit weird though, like actually when you
Yeah.
think of it,
Yes.
like.
I mean, the lesson for them is you really shouldn't talk about religion to somebody from the north of Ireland. Like,
I know.
oh, well, you know what I mean. Like, no, you fucking shouldn't. But well, I don't mind saying what I'm saying, and I tell it as it is. I don't care who it suits.
That's it.
I
That's
just
the
don't
best.
give a damn.
there you go.
Best way to be. So there was so you saw. So then, did you stay? You stayed over there for like years after that, then?
Yeah, so I stayed there until, God, was I 26 or 27 when I came home?
Like, I couldn't tell you, darn. My memories had that many children and
Yeah.
stuff like that. There, you can't remember, you know, ages and. Well, I can remember their dates of birth, but not the year they were born in or anything.
Yeah. So I come home when I was about 26.
Yeah.
Moved in with my mum. Big shocker. Like, I lived alone since I was 18. And that was a bit rough, like.
Bit rough. Our Kelsey, my Matthew's eldest wee daughter, I think our Kelsey was maybe only about 7 or something at the time. And we lived in a wee bungalow beside the graveyard, and they lived down at the bottom of the street. And our Kelsey came into the bathroom, and here she was. Nanny, who owns all that makeup? Isn't that your Uncle Luke's love? And here she was. What? She couldn't get out of the fucking bathroom quick. What was the point of me telling her a pile of lies?
I know.
You know,
Because
so
you
they
don't
just,
fucking wear any. What you wearing that for the night? You're never. It's never on you.
Can we actually explain what you told your mummy coming down here?
So I told, yeah. So I told. See, if I told my mum what we were doing, she wouldn't be as relaxed as this. So I told
that's because
her
of Faye volume.
a couple of blues.
Hey, Gavin.
Yeah. No, so I just said, listen, she's never out of Noblets, right? It's always shopping. So I just said, my mate Connor's moved into an apartment and he's looking a bit of advice on wallpaper.
Not a bit of wallpaper in this.
No,
place.
right. And would you come down? And she's that fucking nosy. She'd love to go down and see someone's new place. So of course she's
It is
Sunday
straight and
best
big,
on.
isn't it?
It is big
You
enough.
you haven't seen the toilet yet.
The umbrellas are beautiful. So it's clean.
I hope it's clean, yeah.
Oh, better be clean, or I wouldn't be fucking be vomiting this coffee or tea all up. Yes, Nobles is great.
We're really
I
picky,
love
right?
it.
Like,
But I walked in this day and it was the kitchen. I'd got a new kitchen in. I didn't put it the housing executive. we
Tell 'em all
we
the
are from
business.
social housing. So anyway, I looked at this paper and here's me, oh my fuck. Here's me looking at him, definitely. I says, I'm having that. And he looked down and here he was, what? Are you sure? I says, yes. I says, I'm buying that wallpaper. And I says, I'm buying 2 rolls of it for the kitchen. So I walked up to the counter. It was £39 a roll. I didn't give a fuck.
good stuff when it's that,
You've
price.
never seen a like of it in your life. It's just animals.
Is it?
Yes, but there was no warning with it that you spend about an hour every night feeding them all. That was the only fucking thing now that, you know. So if I'm having a night out, I have to be back early. You know, where all the noise starts in the kitchen. The lions start roaring and the elephants, and then the birds start shaking all over the place. And then you've
Keeps you
got all the
busy.
wash up. But anyway, the wallpaper's beautiful. I have to say now, but I thought that I was coming down to pick paper for you.
It's alright. Maybe next time I'll get
I
paper.
don't even know Connor, to be honest.
It's the first time he's met me.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I'm going to go bad.
What?
I thought you were best friend.
No, it's a podcast. You're my best friend. You know my best friends.
I don't know, but I thought this was an extra one. All right, okay. Then I shouldn't be cursing or anything.
No, you can curse all you
sure,
want.
It's on camera.
I curse and all. I'm scared to curse now.
fuck's sake.
You haven't got a word in edgeways. So you haven't.
No, I'm here just to ask the questions.
That's it.
So actually, what I was thinking is, you've explained what Luke was like growing up. What was your mummy like when you were growing up?
Well, now that you've shared some details,
Oh, it was great. I mean, I just let them run wild.
Mummy has a
If
very
they wanted
loud.
to steal the stole, I wouldn't say a word. Where'd you get that? Gets me arse now.
Mummy has
I
a very
just-
loud voice, so
Very.
like very heavy. So I remember as a kid playing, and I would say a good 5-minute walk as a kid, like right, really short. You would hear her at the shops,
Actually,
so she wouldn't go looking for
I'd have
you.
stood at the front door,
Yeah, they don't yell, but
and I would have called every one of their names.
6 of us.
And we lived away down to Ballina Estate, and the shops was up at the top, and they were down in 3 minutes.
You ran
heard
when my ma called
They
you.
knew
Like.
to run. Once I called their names, that was it.
And then growing up, so there was 6 of us. So my sister's the oldest, right? But it was all the rest of them were all boys. Yeah, I guess I'm a boy too. But getting up in the morning, like my brothers would have, my ma would have yelled,
Jesus
"Get up!"
Christ.
And then my brothers would have,
And
like-
that was next door to my ma.
yeah,
I got a
said getting
4-bedroom
up.
house next door to my mother.
did you?
Yes, because 6 children and only 1 girl. And, I mean, 5 boys in one room to carry on, and it was ridiculous. So anyway, there was a house going next door to my ma, and the old fella was in the hospital, and he wasn't dead, but I phoned the house and exactly what here's me now, he's not going to live. I says he's on his deathbed.
Rumor
I
has
says,
it.
so I would like his house, please, thank you. So I rang them every day, and they gave me the house. So that was great. My mother was terrified. Certainly she was.
Because
So
all boys in?
she'd call us for school, right? And some of them, you know, they'd lay on. I think I was up pretty quickly. But some of them would like just stamp on their feet on the floor to sound as if they were
You're
up. And then she would click on to this. What would you call us? She would say something like,
If you don't get out of them beds, I'll be up and I'll hack you to fucking death. Right? And then I would remember.
imagine living next door. It was a terraced house. Like, so imagine Granny on one side. I think, do we have like a second cousin on the other side? They just thought we were fucking nuts. Like,
Yeah.
and the amount, like, my ma yelled at you for doing something wrong. It wasn't just a telling off. It was a full scale row. Yeah.
And the whole state hurt. But there was one morning I'd run out of cereal for their breakfast, and the kitchen was a real wee small kitchen, and I'd run out of cereal, and I thought, now I may make them French toast. So Annie had beat up the eggs and done their thing, and as each one was finished on the pan, I called,
The next one.
right, and then when the next one was done, the next one was called, the next one and the next one. Our Barry was the last one. Our Barry just looked at his plate. Here he was, I'm not eating that. I says, are you not? So I just opened the kitchen window and I got the plate and I fucked it out like a frisbee. I says, now you can go and get that up. I says, you'll eat the next bite that I make you.
Not lovely. It's great.
Oh, you had a
I
good
Just
love that though.
Just as well,
Wait.
social services weren't
I
around
know,
back in
but
the
I
day.
know. That's a proper Belfast Mummy though, isn't it? That is.
certain. In our bar used to leave his boots at the bottom of the stairs, DM boots. So she'd fall over them.
Oh, are
Right.
you? Yeah.
So I lifted them. I was sick of saying to him, don't leave your boots there. So there was one morning, it was lashing out of the heavens. And I opened the front door and I got them. And we lived in the green, which meant there was a green, lovely lush green grass facing. So I got the boots and I just fucked them. Well, I didn't
Lot of
do
stuff
that
was thrown out
there.
of the
I
house,
went
like-
like that.
Yeah.
So they were all up getting ready for school and all. Barry says to me, I can't find my boots. I says, well, I says, if you want your boots, I says, you may go out onto the middle of that green there and get them some. So he says, what? So God help me, he went out and got them in Quebec, his feet were ringing. And I said, now that will teach you.
But we
not
never
to leave
left
them."
anything again down that, like, that was a
Oh,
lesson.
not
Like,
at all.
nothing was left at the bottom
Not
of the stairs
at all.
again.
Oh,
But
yes.
Mummy was like, Mummy was a single. Like, I don't remember my dad being at home growing up as a kid.
It's not my fault.
But what? Yeah, well, I mean, partly must be, right? No, but but she worked like a dog. Like, you know, growing up, Mummy had like 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Like
I worked
breakfast.
in every chip shop in
Yeah.
Westbourne.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes, to get
Alright.
nice clothes and all for these
Yeah.
to wear.
You know, like if I can't feed my cat. Like, you know, I have a cat and it gets 2 different types of food and filtered water. Right. When it comes,
They used to get their Sunday dinner on a
On
Monday.
Monday.
Because when
Sometimes.
it come to the weekend, I had enough money left, to buy a wee bit of
Meat.
meat for their Sunday dinner. So we would have sat at the table now and said, God, his name Chop's gorgeous. Fucking beans and toast or something. And they all said, yes, Mum, they're lovely.
Yeah. I mean, listen, she's acting like we were fucking Oliver out of. wasn't terribly bad. Like,
No, it was not indeed that bad. But then on Monday, I got a wee roast out of the butcher's, and I was the only one that ever bought a roast on a Monday.
so people thought she had money,
Certainly.
We just had one Sunday on
she worked
Monday.
really hard. Like 6 school uniforms. Do you know what I mean? Christmas. Like we didn't. I don't know how your Christmas went. Like we don't. Our Christmas presents were never wrapped. Like you got a chair. Did you get a chair?
Yeah, we get them. We get them. We get a chair. Me and him still get Christmas presents. I still think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I still.
I
Yeah.
know.
Oh, so you get it right, and it's all displayed. Like that's how we on our sofa. Like as a kid, like as an adult looking back, it was packed. Like it was bung. So I don't know. I mean, there's definitely the electric board back in the day. What was that thing you used to go lay money over?
Okay, but I used to get a loan too. That's a loan now.
Yeah. I mean, the carpet man. What was his name as a kid? No, we never juked We never juked anybody. By the way, these stories. People like duck under the window.
Aye.
Benny.
I came out on it. And then one day I was doing and realised I was an ant-house, and all he had to do was walk right the fucking back. He had all chicken in the kitchen.
But the carpet man would have came. Would you used to pay him like a £5 a week?
Is that
£5 a week.
Something like that. But no, they were the good old days, like.
Yeah.
Honest to God. And,
Oh, everybody's done that though.
But yeah, worked like
the one week's
that's
not
what I'm
in.
saying. Yeah, right.
You see, whenever I left school, my mother presented me with a Provident cheque.
Provident. I got Provident as well. And like, Mummy, Ursula's at the door.
We all got a Provident cheque. You had to pay it yourself, like. But
the wee blue books, remember the blue books or something? That's what I want. They were like a spelling book, but like blue.
Do we just check?
Where's the Provident book?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I man, all got those.
Whenever my ma died, God love her, we were all sitting, talking about her in our potty. That's my eldest brother, and here he was. We were talking about my man, the tech man, and said, "Learned all of us. We didn't know how to handle money.
Yeah.
We knew how to get tech." So our potty was sitting. He says, God, he says, I remember big Jamesy Nelson, and I thought he was our uncle.
Was he?
Just coming.
He thought he was just calling to see my man. And then one time, the electric board, if you didn't pay your bill, the man came out on a motorbike and disconnected. Now, that's the way whenever we children.
So what are you talking about?
And my dad worked
70s?
on the electric board. He was a linesman or something. But he was friends with this man, I can't mind his name.
Right, he worked in collections, did he?
But he rode the motorbike around the estate. If anybody didn't pay their bill, he came in disconnected the electric. So we come to our house one day, my man here died. She brought him in. Here she was, come on in, Ronnie. She says, just let on me, you've come to visit me. She says, Friday one time, these neighbours to know that you're out here to cut my electric off. And he says to him, do you want a cup of tea, Ronnie? He says, no. He says, I've other houses to go around.
Cut off.
And my mommy says, no, I'll walk out with you and we'll stand at the bottom of the path and have a conversation. And then people think that you were just out visiting them. But he cut it off anyway to come.
I suppose like nowadays, right, we have credit cards, right?
Aye.
So the tick man wouldn't have been bad. It's just a different form of credit.
Aye.
Me trying to schmooze it over. Yeah. Well, right, I have a few credit cards. It's
I have a
technically
load
the
of
tick
credit
man.
cards. I get everything on finance as well.
Yeah. So you're
No,
alright.
you see, I made one time I had a car and our Matthew didn't keep
Good
his company wasn't very savoury. And anyway, one of the wee bastards that they associated with set my car on fire. And I lived in a masonette at the time. And I'd paid £1,400 for it off the girl that I worked for. And,
Level of detail
but I
here,
had it
right.
insured. And the fella that lived next door to him, he rapped the door and he said, look at that. And all I could hear was a crackling and the blaze. And I thought, oh, good, fuck my good car. So anyway, it was fully comprehensive. And I actually got the money back that I had fucking paid for it. Believe it or
Shock, she's shocked. That's how insurance
so
works.
I thought to myself, now, I could buy a real good car here.
She's done whippers all up the west after that.
I was saving in the credit union for my death. And anyway, I thought to myself, now, I could put that
Into the credit union.
into the credit union and then go down in a couple of weeks' time and get a loan. So I borrowed
Don't say the amount, but yeah, you borrowed money.
the money and
Right.
got a far better car.
But
So
wait,
then-
no, but you borrowed the money. She had it for a few days.
Oh, yes,
She couldn't
that's right.
sleep.
I
So
brought
I'm
it back.
I'm in America at this point, so I get the call when like all the bad
That's right.
yeah
forgot
I get the
brought it
call when
back.
all the bad news
I
happens.
brought
Like
it back.
yeah, the car's burnt to the.
Uh-huh.
She calls me. I can't sleep, and I'm like, why? Still about the car? No, I've got this money now, and I'm really nervous about having to pay it
You're
back.
getting robbed.
So she brought it back to the credit union. Was just like, here, take it back. I don't want it.
And the woman Aileen that worked at it knew me, and she says to me, Liguori, she says, like, what are you doing that for? I says, like, just take that. I says, I couldn't sleep. I says, oh, and that amount of money, and I felt like saying on top of the rest of the fucking money that I owe. So anyway,
Fuck, if you saw my credit file, I don't think you'd be able to sleep
I
either.
wouldn't like to. Thank you so very fucking much.
Right, but she did work hard. Right.
I know. So did you bring the money back then? Fair enough.
Yes.
She's like,
Did she fuck? She's been back to the credit union several times after
Well, I
that.
had to go. Our Matthew died, and I had to go to the credit union to borrow the money for his funeral.
Yeah.
But I saved my money in the credit union every week. I think with maybe
Don't be telling the
well,
amount.
whatever it was.
Fuck
So
me.
anyway, I had to borrow the money to bury Matthew.
Right.
So I got that there, and I got that all paid off. And
What was next? Was it the kitchen you wanted or no?
no, I can't even
The
remember.
living room
what.
done up? Oh, we moved then. You
We
moved.
moved, and then I had to get.
Have you moved a lot? Have you moved a lot?
Yes, my mommy says that I should have bought a caravan and tied it on the back.
Because
of
I just heard you saying like the grave, based in the graveyard. Then the masonette. Then there was the other one.
Mummy, so my mummy's never moved out of the estate, but has lived in every street in the estate.
Every type of house in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Channel.
no, Dad, I moved out twice. Because Protestant place, and I had to get the fuck out of it. Didn't like, the houses were beautiful, but didn't like the people.
Don't think maybe they just didn't like you, maybe.
Didn't like the people. So anyway, then I
This is back in the day, but right, hold on. This is back in the day, right? So mummy, right?
two masonettes I've lived in. Like
Yeah.
I lived in Davis Way, I lived in Slamish Way, I lived in 23 the Green.
Yeah. Oh,
I
don't be
lived
giving
in-
address.
I'm sure
I'll
there's
take that.
fuck
Is that the current address?
What? No, not the current
Oh,
address.
fuck no, and then the bungalow was in Tony Gardens beside the graveyard. And then I got a house, I had to move out of there. Got a house.
Don't say the current address.
No. She got a house a
Yeah.
few streets over. But I think when the housing executive
hate it?
sees,
I hate
she'll move again. She'll move again. When the
Can
housing
you be
executive
annoyed?
sees her number coming, they're just like,
Here we go.
fuck, right, find a
Buckle
house
up.
quick.
So I had to put an extension on so I can't move now. Because our Martin, our Martin's not well. And it's only 30% of his heart working.
Oh God, I tell you, if anybody wants to know a history of our family, you've heard it here. Like
Yeah,
I
that's-
could not tell a
Sure, that's what
lie.
you're here for.
I could not tell a lie and work anymore. Like you've really went into detail there.
Why not?
That's what you're here
I'll even tell you about what I do. I was in TK Maxx one day.
for. That's here.
Nobody here. And I was standing looking at the candles, and this woman was standing. But I was wanting to see where she was looking. You see, but she was standing for ages. And I said to her, God, I says, I hate that when anybody stands in front of you, you know, whenever you're looking at things. And she just turned around, I says, so I just hit them on the head. I says, and they move. Well, she moved all right. And then she knocked, it was like a basket that you would put towels into. She knocked one of them over, fell over it. So away I fucking went, down the stairs, and out of TK Maxx. And I was afraid to go back into it again in case it was on camera.
But again, like right, yeah, but really funny. She thinks she's funny, but her face doesn't move.
I don't
That's
do
dry
that at
humour,
all,
wasn't
like,
it?
Oh, really, really dry. Oh, and that's right. Like that's where I got my humor from. But
It's even the video you put on TikTok and her saying about the pasta, and someone was like, "That pasta's been out years." You're like, "You obviously don't get her humor."
do you know what I mean? The
Was
Liguori
it?
pasta. My ma's been making pasta for years. You can't. What are you talking
Is
about?
it your pasta?
Yes.
Yes, we
My
get that.
name was on it. I mean to say it was made in Italy. So was I. Fuck sake.
Yeah.
So see, then see your TikTok videos. What do you think of the TikTok videos? Do you like them?
I don't watch it.
Do you know? They're funny. That's how I feel like I know you.
See, she didn't realize. So at the start of it, she didn't really realize I was doing it, right? And I was just like sticking it up, and then people started. Like the bin man said something to her one day. No, the guy that washes the bins. Right, she's worried about a pension. She has 3 direct debits comes out. One is to clean the oven every quarter. One is to get her wheelie bin washed. And
On direct debit?
yeah, it's be £5 a
Fucking
month.
fancy.
Yeah, the wheelie bin.
Or 60
£5,
quid.
yeah, and then hers. And what else is it?
Oh.
The TV license.
Correct.
That's it. So the wheelie
Credit
washer.
union.
Yeah, the man come up and was just like, "Here, I've seen your TikToks," and she had said to me like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like,
They're funny though.
I
Yeah.
says to him, what? He says, I watch you on TikTok. Here's me going to tell you something. Love. I says, I think you're getting me mixed up with somebody else. And closed the door.
Do you know what I mean? So a few people have stopped with some Marks and Spencers as well. So I knew at that point we gotta come clean here.
Here, a big promotion could be coming up.
I know. I'd love to. No, here she would be uncontrollable. She wouldn't be able to sell Marks and Spencers. She would talk shit about it. Like, why do we even?
What
go?
the toilets takes in Marks and Spencers?
What?
The toilets.
Well, and I'm really serious. I had a couple of
My ma goes for a
cups of
piss
coffee.
though.
Now, you thought I was going to say a drink, a couple of drinks, a couple of cups of coffee, and my bladder wasn't the best at my age.
Yeah.
And you need to go to the toilet now. I'd say to like, we're about to stay going. I need to go to say I have no sense of direction. So he would say to me
Every
straight
week
down
I give
the
it the
toilet.
same direction. Pass the clothes. You make a left.
Well, last week when I went into the toilets, I just went stench, and I'm deadly serious. The fucking stench. So, which meant then that I couldn't go. So we used the gents.
What?
I had to use the gents.
You didn't let me. You didn't tell me that.
Well, I wasn't going to tell you out in the middle of Marks and Spencer.
What's your favourite
And then-
Marks and Spencer store then?
What?
Have you got a favourite Marks and Spencer store?
When we go to the one Spruce
I
Field.
took you to I took you to one in Boucher once. You weren't very impressed. There was no clothes. There's no clothes in the food hall in Boucher. She likes to be nosy at the same clothes every week.
Right.
And I love Next.
Yeah.
You're right though. Such an edgy.
Don't know what it was there.
Yeah.
But I love getting into Next. So we'll go to Marks and Spencer and we can nip over to
Stare at the
Next.
same clothes that are there every. It's like you should go once a season because it doesn't change.
Well, I mean, you can only buy one thing every week.
Well, that's right.
You know, you have to build up a wee outfit. Sort of.
What about his socks he wore at Marks and Spencer's?
So we have a thing for right. So my mates all when we go away, we buy socks
Yeah.
every right. So we went to Berlin, and we bought slut socks. We go to festivals, right? So we went to the Sugar Babes concert, and we have socks that say "Babes" on them.
Yeah.
There was one day he came out, I got into the car, and there he was sitting in a fucking belly top with like a shirt over it, right? And a pair of socks on, because I just looked at him and looked right down and said slut on the socks. And I says, right, that's fucking it, mate. I says, you went too far this time. I said, but I know what you're doing. I says, that fella in Marks and Spencer's fancies you. I says, this is why you're getting all dressed up. For he follows you about. I says, now that's the fucking end of it. I says, because we're the talk of the place. Then 1 hour a week he put this music on in the car. And I think he called her Virginia. Regina Hard-On. Right?
Have you ever heard Regina Hard-On?
I actually only heard
It's really good, actually. I don't think she's real. I think it's just AI.
Well, actually.
But yeah, but it's really funny.
Well, he put it on the car. Here's me turn it off. I says, I'm actually disgusted, and I turn that off. And I says, I'm sure that woman's walking about. I says, with a hole on her. I says, the size of a double-decker bus. I said, that's the end of it. So I said, now see, if you put that on whenever we're in Marks and Spencer's, it's always Marks and Spencer's. And I said, now if you turn that on, I says, I'm fucking walking out. So I did. He put the song on, and I was looking at jeans and away on it.
She's very easy to wind up.
Oh, are
know?
you?
Oh, she's very easy to wind up. Yeah.
Okay.
But Marks and Spencer's is quite new. Since you got your pension, really, was it? Since you came into money.
We always went to Lidl's.
Littles, or
Lidl.
like when I was a kid, we went to Iceland. You know, the shopping got delivered, and by fucking Saturday afternoon, when it arrived, there was no biscuits. You used to yell.
Eat everything.
Yeah.
And then I used to bake. On a Sunday would have been my day for baking, like wee buns. Not as fancy as that bun that you gave me. Only got one. But anyway.
He took the other one. There's another one back there if you want.
No,
No, she's going to diabetic shock. Fuck's sake.
buns off you. Oh God, no! You must have been able to. You know, I can know what it's like. but anyway, I had to bake buns and wee scones on a Sunday, and that was just my day, and that was maybe a bit of pleasure, you know, while I sipped at a wee bit of sherry, and well, Wayne, full sherry's for Christmas. My ma used to drink it, but any road, do you see come fucking Monday evening? There wasn't one bun, not a one. And then I said, go on, you greedy fucking bastard.
Literally,
I have fucking
like.
stewed all day yesterday, baking. I says, and you had to eat them all at fucking once. So that's the last time I'm baking.
Well, what was it? I mean, there were 6 of us, so if she made 12, it was 2 each.
Right.
You didn't have to eat 2.5 each. What
We're probably fucking starving, like.
twice as long.
See in the video with it, one of the things you were on the socks is she's like, I'm telling you now, I will be barred from fucking church. Have you ever been barred from church? Not yet.
Now, listen, don't be mentioning the chapel's names, people in the
Oh,
chapel.
no.
Just go into a lot of detail.
But there was one day I was approached
By a sister, a nun.
by the head nun of a primary school. And
No kids go to the school, do they?
yeah.
No, okay.
So she came over to me and right under my face, you are vile. And I says, what the fuck are you talking about? No, but I did. I said, what the fuck are you talking about, vile?
This is in the parish centre, by the way, where my mum was volunteering making coffee.
Making coffees, right? But when I
Right.
would have seen the nun coming in, I always got her wee cappuccino and all ready for her, right? But that's what I got when she came to the counter. I was vile. And I said, what the fuck do you mean? So she says, oh, I have seen you.
Was Facebook at the time?
She says, I have seen you on Facebook. She says, and it was a disgrace. I says, my sister, what the fuck? And I just looked
No,
at her. I
but you
said,
said, what the fuck are you doing on Facebook?
And she says, I saw you coming out of a caravan. She says, wearing a long white dress and a long white wig on your head. She says, letting on you were the Pope. I says, what? I says, fuck off, sister. I says, I'm telling you. I says, you're the one that's vile, not me. I says, you should not be hooking in other people's Facebooks. I says, no, that was not me. I says, that was my son's friend.
So it was. I went to electric.
Was it you though?
No. So I went to electric.
Electric picnic.
I went to electric picnic.
Oh.
It was a few years ago. I just came back this past weekend, but it was a few years ago. I went to electric picnic, and there was a female pope just giving out communion. And my friend just videoed me getting communion. I sent it to my ma. You know, it's funny, and I put it on Facebook and tagged her. So the nun is obviously like picked
Oh,
up.
it was you.
Yeah.
Like,
Mummy doesn't
make
really.
say she comes, and then the best of it was, after we had finished with each other, and I told her that she was vile, and I said, now, do you want cinnamon or chocolate on your cappuccino? She says, love chocolate, please. I said, very well.
You know what I mean?
That's
But
that.
my ma doesn't. My ma doesn't
Never
understand.
mentioned again.
She doesn't understand like Facebook. Like there's times I'll have to message her and I'll be, get that fucking off. What are you doing? She'll comment, right? Just like older people commenting, right? So the other day, I have a screenshot of it. Mayo Community Association. Please comment or like if you'd like to stay on the page.
Mayo Bridge.
Mayo Bridge Community Association in Mayo. I don't know why she's a part, right? It's a community association.
Thought I got a free
What was
holiday
it?
down
No.
the Mayo.
What did you say?
I did, but I did. I thought I would have got a free holiday.
not-
then.
Did you comment this day?
She commented to
joined
stay, and no, you were already on it. She was on it, and
Not
she
even a free
said,
holiday.
What did she say? It was something like, "Please like or comment if you want to stay in the group." And my mum types, "Please don't remove me." She doesn't even fucking live there.
No, but I did think that I
It's
would
a
have got an
nosiness, is
invitation.
it?
I thought I really did think I would have got an invitation down and like a wee holiday out of it.
Or like when I was living at home,
Or
there
we
was-
house swapped in the
right?
mail.
Oh, yeah. When I was living at home, there was a
All
package
expenses
arrived.
paid.
A package arrived, and she goes, "Is this yours?" And I said, "No, it's addressed to you." And it was like, you know, like carabiners for climbing. She entered a competition, like, you know, like a like and a share, and it was to win these carabiners. And
And what did you call them?
like, you thought they were bicycle locks. It's on. I think it's on
I
like
don't know
long ago, like
the fuck
years
they
years
were.
ago on TikTok. I had no fucking clue. I said, "Well, where'd they come from?" She goes, "I just press like and share."
I won them.
I'm like, I have to text her constantly. That's a scam. Don't like that.
Oh, why?
Don't be sharing that.
But I won them.
No, I know, but that was
Is it for rock climb?
Yeah, but it was rock climbing. After that,
I
she
thought
was.
they were for clipping a bicycle. You know, if you want
You
to.
in a big?
No,
Oh, yeah. No, but she used to cycle.
I
Oh,
did.
did you?
Mummy had a midlife crisis and went through like a
Fuck
real
off. It wasn't midlife. It was only 40.
midlife crisis, or going through your changes, and went through a whole exercise.
I stopped smoking. Right. And I went from one addiction till the other. Right. Now it wasn't drink. It was exercising.
Aerobics.
What was it?
Started out with aerobics.
So I taught myself how to swim in the Lisburn swimming pool. But it was just straight across and back, straight across and back. Was too afraid to go. But it was like the pensioners crawl that I done. So eventually I was able to do a couple of lengths in the pool. And then I joined the aerobics class and I met this girl. Me and her became real friendly, and I thought she was about 10 children the size of her. And anyhow, then
People
she
watch, do you
left.
know people watch and listen to this? Or just
No, but that girl left.
Oh right, okay. Do you not know her anymore?
No.
Oh right, okay.
Well, I've never been in touch with her since.
Oh right, okay.
But anyway, I thought to myself, there was a wee fella you went to school with, his mommy went, and I says, tell her, do you know something? See, whenever we come out of here, we should go for a run up to the top of the Pond Park Road and back down again. Because I was like the high impact aerobics. Show up. And
She used to bring me, right? So like I would have come. How old?
we
were I?
had no babysitter, I had to wreck the fucking house to get out. So I had to take him with me.
So I used to sit on the side and just watch. Like I still know the moves. I could teach an aerobic class now. Like with the moves that I've watched her do. Used to sit and do my homework. Like no wonder I'm gay. I was sitting watching.
What is
Like aerobics,
Water? Is it?
No, it was like
No.
step aerobics. You know, like the old 80s. Like
You're
you know,
right, yes, yes.
only this was in the late 90s, I guess. Yeah.
So anyway, then I started running, and I went around, say maybe 10, 12 miles by myself, and then I would run further and further and further, and then I did the 10k round Lisburn. That was only 6 miles or something, and then I was increasing. Then I did the half marathon, and then done the full marathon. Then this problem arose, which
Let's just say there's a reason why she always has to go to the toilet now. All this high impact running. Although you'd cycle to Dublin
so,
as well.
yeah, hold on. So I had to
Trying to move away from this
I-
conversation.
I felt the need to go to the toilet and do a poo. Right. So I have shit in every field from here to Ballinderry and back. And I remember one day I climbed this fence and I was hunkering and I was brought toilet roll in my hip pocket and my shorts. And
As a professional athlete would, right?
I just happened to look up and there's all these cows going. So I quickly cleaned myself up the way I went. So then there was one other day, I was out in the same road and just had to dive into this hole in the hedge, right? And I happened to look up and sure wasn't at the bottom of Sonny's garden. Shouldn't like it all. So anyway,
You could see,
Imagine that
you
wee
could,
paper
you
bag.
could maybe see why I jumped at the chance to move away.
then
You know?
I bought a bike and bought it for £10, and it was like a racing bike. It was pink.
It was a fucking
So
Barbie
I
bike.
called it my Barbie bike. And every time you change the gear, the chain came off. So I'd got him a bike for Santa, got him a bike for Christmas. And I said to him, right, look, come on, we're going for a spin. So away the two of us went out in the bicycles, but I had to keep stopping and starting, stopping and starting. So we pedalled away out to Ballinderry and back in the road again.
They don't know where Ballinderry
And that
is.
I
child,
do, yeah.
Oh, do you?
the
Opposite
Ballinderry,
Bakery,
the
Avila.
What are
antique
you doing down
shop.
Ballinderry?
What?
What are you doing down
I just know
Ballinderry?
where it is.
Huh?
Alright.
Why is that where people go?
Maybe.
I know.
She walked out to Ballinderry that night. No, I'm joking.
So anyway, that was the start of the cycling. So I could not get enough of it. And you know where the half town road is? It's like that. So I thought to myself, now for the training, I'm going to have to, get really, really fit here in this bike. So the first time I went up the half town road, I got halfway up and had to get half. And I kept at it and kept at it and kept at it until I could do that half town road without lifting my arse off the saddle. Right? And then on a Sunday I went to Newry and back, and then the following Sunday, but I mean in between I was still cycling during the week. So then I would have went to Larne and back. So
This
I
is
did the
somebody,
Mars-
but
did
this
the
is
Mars
somebody
cycle.
who has no sense of direction, like at all. So like when I came home for like a fleeting visit for like 5 days, landed at the airport thinking, when you come home, balloons and a sign and fucking everything. Came home to nobody at the airport. And I called her. I said, "Where are you?" Help! She drove
There's a way
past.
down some country road.
She drove past the city airport. She just didn't get off the airport. Actually on the road, she just drove past it, and I was like, "You're gonna have to turn
I know,
around."
but whenever I glanced and seen that it was the airport, I was already past it.
Yeah.
So
So
what else could you do? Only keep driving.
So she goes, "Well, like, what way do I go?" And I'm like, "Well, you turn fucking round and you come back the way you came." So all these places that she cycled.
It is a hard car park
I
to know
had to
how to get
ask
into it.
3 people
Yeah,
on the way back how to get to the George Best Airport.
yeah.
But anyway, I did the Mars cycle. I pedalled from Queen's University and down to Dublin Airport
Yeah.
one day. And it was hailstones. It was like golf balls beating the bake off you. And me and the girl that I was cycling with, we stopped at this shop, right, to get a wee drink. So we stopped and she said, what happened? You know the guttern up above? It just cracked. Fuck me down round me. I was wetting up. By fuck, I had drowned it. So anyway, we got to the airport and you got a pint of Guinness
And you got there.
whenever you got
Did you
there.
finish it?
So, of course, I finished it. and I would love a pint of Guinness. Oh, yeah.
No, I don't think it is.
Well,
Just
anyway,
hard.
I was just chancing it. But any road then, the next day, I pedalled back again from the airport back to Queen's University. So I have got a medal for that. I did the Belfast Hills walk. I have got certificates. I've done everything.
There you go. Yeah. So if you're
You
looking,
actually,
you know,
actually makes it not a lot though.
yeah. I mean, if you're looking at a bit of training advice, I'm sure my ma could get you into a bit of aerobics, like. You
And
know.
then the doctor. I had said to the doctor, you say about my problem whenever I was wrong.
This is much later in life. I'm
And
assuming.
no. I was still running at the time, and I had to ask him about the price or anything I could do about it. And he says, "Well, you could take Imodium tablets, before you go out to run." He says, "Actually, you can get a plug." And I thought, right, a plug for your fucking arse. So I says, "No, I'll do the Imodium tablets." So I did, and then I met the doctor retired. And then I met him one day in the surgery. He was in for something, and he says, "Liguori, come here." He says, "You'll not believe me." He says, "But I have been out running."
No.
He says, "and cycling." He says, "And you were my mentor."
Here we are. Well, at least one person took up running.
Now, how's that? Your doctor? Imagine saying that to a doctor. I was delighted. Delighted,
It's better than any certificate, isn't it?
certainly.
It's like Belfast Forrest Gump.
I know.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
So like I walk really fast, like
Yeah.
just walking, right? I mean, gays traditionally do march, like move, you walk fast, right? But I walk fast because my ma, I would have been running alongside her as a kid, like actually running to try to keep up because my ma was just, that's how she walked.
So, but I'll tell you why. My ma would have sent you to the shop and she'd have said, don't be 3 minutes now to your back. So you run up the shop and you run down again and you get out of school at 3 o'clock and you'd be home in the house for 3:15. So, I mean, you didn't walk along laughing and ho-ho and ha-ha with your chums. You just had to belt along and make sure you were home. So then the children, God love them.
See how it just passes down?
Yeah, just all walk quick. Every woman.
Well, here we actually have people have asked questions they ask, but I'm gonna let you pick the questions because I don't know what.
Oh, they're rough. Oh, Jesus.
There's loads, and the most know you.
How about me?
No, what?
Does no one know me?
Do they know you? You're TikTok.
They're
famous.
asking you. Yeah, they're asking you. Right.
You can
You pick them. No, do a roulette there. Stick one.
So,
I mean, I shared on my page and said there was no holes barred, so you go ahead.
has Luke's mum ever tried poppers?
Poppers? Lollipops, like? No.
Right, so there was a time.
Wait, I thought you were going to say they're not that.
No. Mummy doesn't. I think I know who wrote this because Mummy doesn't know.
Do you want to see?
Yeah, let me see.
Stewie?
Oh, I didn't think it was her. Right, okay. Yeah.
Read through the questions to make sure there's something alright. There's someone. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Oh, yeah.
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 You sure?
Yeah.
Do I need to go to the toilet or anything?
No. Poppers could make you go to the toilet though, maybe. So they were in my bedroom, right? As you do. Well, I don't know if you do, but you might. They're really good in a night out, I'll have to say. Yeah. And I think, growing up, we always had like incense and shit around the house, like, and we oils and
I
stuff.
always played Bob Dylan, Fleetwood Mac and all.
Did you?
Oh, I was real happy.
Were you?
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
I was actually telling me you're a wee bit of a hippie.
Certainly.
I was a hippie.
Down to Slane and all to see Bob Dylan.
Did you?
On UB40 and all. Oh, fuck off.
So I think she thought maybe these were like oils
Right.
or something. So she like put them into my room, like she poured it out and like left it sitting. And I came in and she was like, fucking eyes were like just what's going on? What's going on? And I was like, fuck me. And I instantly smelt it and I was like, oh fuck. And she had said like, oh, this oil, it must be off. And I was like, yeah, it's definitely off. But I don't think I've ever really told you. I don't think you know what poppers are. We don't need to talk about them, but yeah. That's,
I was going to say, I was going to tell you something there.
She was in my bed, right? So they were fine because she's a nosy cunt. I told you this. She's really nosy.
Oh, fuck.
So when I first moved home, hold on. When I first moved home, I lived in Great Victoria Street in Belfast, and like I just didn't. I grew up with a cleaner, right? In this house I lived, not the American, not the crazy family, but I ended up living with somebody else, and they had a cleaner, and it was just part of life. So I just like I would love to have a cleaner. Couldn't afford to pay one at the time. So my mum would come down with my auntie Liz. No, you drove.
Oh, Liz's car.
Liz's car. Liz drove. My mum brought the Hoover and everything because I didn't have a Hoover. Every Tuesday. Yeah. Every Tuesday she'd come down. She'd clean the apartment when I first moved home, and I'd make them lunch, right? Like a fucking quiche or something I put on. Chop it up with salad, they'd eat, and then they'd go on their way. I think the Grand National was on or something. So it was like the back of Sandy Row. Like Sandy Row was behind me on Great Victoria Street. And my auntie Liz wanted to put a bed on, and she was like,
She was full.
It's terrible. She was full. Aye, yeah. Auntie Liz liked the tipple.
She did. I drove, you see.
Yeah, she drove. But she was a great cleaner.
I was a chauffeur.
Yeah, she was a great cleaner, right? So I took her down to the betting. Was it like what do you call it? Betting office? I don't know. I've never been to one. Yeah, right. It was Sandy Row, so I was like fucking, in a pair of O'Neill shorts, and I'm like, fuck me. So we're going in. As we were in there, didn't know odds or everything. We were gone a while. Well, my ma had a good fucking time in my bedroom. Now, she was cleaning, but I was always in the house, so there wouldn't be hooking under the bed, right?
Hoovering.
She was hooking under the bed.
Hoovering under the bed.
Right? So, why don't you, right? So, we're sitting down for lunch. What did you say?
And I says, tell him, look, I says, what are you doing me a truss?
No, you didn't. No, right?
Is that not
right.
a truss?
No, it started like that. That's the part of it. She says to me, "Are you being safe?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Are you being safe?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" Now, my Auntie Liz is sitting here too. We're all eating this tiny little fucking table out of IKEA, and she goes, "Why are you into the kinky shit?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And she just like pulls out
The truss.
a truss.
What is a truss?
Well, a truss is where you have a leg there and a leg there, and the truss holds the legs apart.
Well, hold on.
Right.
Just hold on. She thinks it's a trust. It is not. I would call that a swing, right? She thinks it's something, but it wasn't. All it was I went to, you know the rolled up mattresses you buy at IKEA,
Yeah.
and you cut the fucking thing off. I just fucked it under the bed, and it looks when you lift it up that you could maybe stick your legs.
There's a big elastic thing about that,
Yeah,
Dad.
yeah. But I'm like, so I'm sitting here, and like my auntie's like, you know, she's had a drink, whatever. She's starting to fucking choke at this point. But my whole thing was like, I wouldn't have looked at that mattress strap and said that's a trust. But I was more fucking interested in knowing how the fuck you would know what a trust is in the first
I mean to
place.
say I've had 5, 6 children.
Are you being safe?
Well, any road. I'll never forget the day God calls me that I was emptying the bins, and I opened one of the bins, and I could see this green plasticky thing like a face, right? There was no eyes or no, you know, it was just like a plastic thing to cover your face. And then there was a royal blue one in the same bin. And I thought to myself, now fuck off. Them two's wearing them to scare each other.
What do you mean scare each other?
I thought just we're going to have sex with these masks on and scare the lives out of each other.
Do you know the doctor? Is it Dr. Irk? They sell them in Boots, those rubber mat, right? So it's like a face mask, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Would
So-
that not scare you?
Jesus, no, it's
So I took her. I don't know. She's got the kinkiest fucking mind. Like I'm the most vanilla person, right? But it just, yeah, that's where it kind of jumps to. But yes, she now knows what poppers are. Do you want to? Maybe I'll give you a sniff later. For pride, you could try it out, like. For pride, like. Right, yeah, she'll be at the Royal.
I'm crawling out.
That could be the next TikTok. No.
Eating the grass out of the garden.
That's actually a gig. So that was a good question, to be honest, because good stories out of that. So what else do we have? What's the tea on? I don't know. I'm scared to ask questions because I don't know if they are. What's the tea on Dolores? Is she a snake? Did she support Diana's ex?
So this is for my old job. I used to work with someone on Real Housewives in New Jersey. So this is probably
Right. I was like, what the fuck?
yeah.
I thought Dolores was real.
no.
Fucking Dolores.
No,
Yeah, sorry.
I don't tell my man any of that business because she had just mouthed it all around. Yeah, so used to work for. Yeah, I'll be grand. I used to work for somebody who's on TV, and so when I moved out of the Crazy Christian house, so the way I was outed was on the reunion of season 1 of Real Housewives of New Jersey. My boss was accused of maybe being like playing like Mrs. Robinson, right, when she was interviewing me for this job or whatever. She kind of looked like she was coming on to me, and she was like, I've known this kid since I was 10. She was like, knew the family that I lived with, and that's how I got the job, because I knew sort of the family business already, and I wasn't going to tout or, you know, spill the beans. And Teresa, the other friend.
Me?
No, not you. The other friend was just like, sure, is he not gay anyway? So that's sort of how I was outed. So I then lived with them. So I was like moved. I obviously was kicked out or had to.
You never even got a chance of coming out of the wardrobe by itself.
So yeah, I was kind of kicked out of that house, moved into an apartment, and then I worked for her. And then I moved when she kind of left Housewives for a bit. I went and worked on a cruise ship for like a year, and then she got a new TV show that I went and did with her, but I had to move into her house for that. And I think I lived there for a good 4 years, I think, after that. She moved to LA. I moved home. She moved to LA. I was home for a year. She asked me to come move to LA with her. So that part of, you got to see some really...
God, I was on the cruise ship and everything.
Really?
Some
Yes,
epic stuff
honest
like...
to God, in Charleston.
I mean, the cruise ships, her
And
epic.
he met me, he was at the boat, and he met me and I had a... God, what do you call that shop that's shut down now, but Trail Deer? And I had a t-shirt on with the name of the thing on it anyway, and a pair of sunglasses. And he says to me, "Get those sunglasses off." This is why I was wrong. They're kids.
They were fucking tiny, like, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
I says, "I have a small face."
I lived in this ship.
I imagine them being like in
They were
there.
fine. They were literally baby sunglasses.
Like portholes.
I mean, like, I lived on a ship for a year. All these people I work with, and she's coming on to visit, like, for a week to get them fucking off and people talking about me. I mean, she's experienced a lot more exciting stuff than that.
Oh,
But
aye.
the cruise ship, I guess, is her biggest.
What you enjoyed the most?
Yeah, the one she enjoyed the most. So that question is probably Housewives related.
If there's any questions you decide after, you want to take it out to me, Ryan.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm sure.
I don't know.
So what was it? What was the question again?
What was the tea on Dolores? Is she a snake? What did she? Sorry, did she support Diana's ex?
Yeah, I probably couldn't answer that question only because I really don't actually know. I've been so far removed, maybe,
I think that's
from the
very tea,
family.
isn't it?
What's that?
Very tea, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, these women live their lives on, they live their lives on TV, right? So I would expect, I have crazy people that follow me, right? Like, I wasn't much in that show, but if you're a Housewife fan, like, you're a crazy one, and you follow me, you're that much of a fan that you pick up who the fuck I am. Right? So you follow me to see what goes on, like, the rest of the year, because I live with them, so I would know there's a group of crazies, not crazies, they're not crazy. I love you all.
Crazy bastards.
I love you all for the likes. No,
She's like a fucking crazy.
No. So the big people that really, really right. So like, I'm obsessed with, like, I don't know. I used to be obsessed as a kid, like, with what's her name? I used to have a MySpace, pretending to be her.
Did you?
Yeah. So one of the first things out of Housewives that Dina got invited to was the premiere of The Proposal. What's her name in The Proposal? She was in Miss Congeniality.
Oh, fuck.
Sandra Bullock. I used to have a MySpace pretend to be Sandra Bullock. I got it right. Oh yeah, like, fucking.
Like Sandra
Mummy
Bullock.
bought me Mummy bought me a laptop for Christmas one year. There was no
Fuck.
there was no internet, right? There was no internet in the house, but she bought me a laptop. And hold on, and the only thing I got with the laptop was a used Miss Congeniality DVD. And I must have watched it like 6 times on Christmas Day, because that's all you could fucking do on the laptop was watch this one DVD until the internet got in.
I had bought it on Tech, by the electricity board. I had bought it on for Christmas, and then he fucks off to America and left me, and I was still paying that for 3 years.
Yeah.
So
So
he was off having a ball. And his
Big
mother was
beds.
crucified.
yeah. So we got invited to The Proposal, like the movie premiere.
Oh,
And Dina's not the type. She's not flashy in that sense of, like, going to these things. And I begged her, please, can we go? It was like a People magazine, like, uncovering whatever it was. And I was like, please, can we please just go to this one thing? We went in, like, a limo. You never want to meet your idol, right? Like, she always said, don't meet your idol. It's not worth it. You always have this, like, thing in their head. You always have your thing in the head about them. And when I went, I was really disappointed. I was like,
No
yeah,
way.
probably shouldn't have met her, because I was just like,
What was she like? Just a bit blonde or just a bit like what?
Well, when I say met her, we were maybe this, like, I didn't say hi. I have a MySpace, pretending to be. But yeah, like, I used to post, like, I used to take a photo off fucking prezhilton.com, stick it up on MySpace and be like, walking my dog in Beverly Hills. And people will comment, this is not Sandra. I'm like, yes, it is. Like, weird, I know. Not a stalker nowadays. She's not my fan favorite. But my point is, if I knew somebody who was connected to her back in the day, I would probably follow them to try to get their tea.
I know what you mean.
And ask questions.
It's not easier nowadays though, isn't it? Like, people don't. I notice this. People don't have to queue outside hotels because they can just see it on their social media what they're doing. Where you used to do that back in the day because it was the only glimpse you would have got of them, other than being on TV.
My partner's obsessed with Christina Aguilera.
Right.
I probably as obsessed as what this person might be, in a really nice way. And I remember I was in work one day and I get a message, Christina's in Dublin. And I was like, right, I'm going down to Dublin. And I was like, babes, place is massive. Like, how do you even know she's here? And he was like, her dancers posted like a photo of them in Dublin. I'm like, so have you seen Christina Aguilera in Dublin yet? And he was like, no. And I'm like, well, they could be working for anybody. And he's like, no, they only work for her. Like, this is how, big fan. And I was like, right, okay. And he's like, I'm just going to go down. And I felt really bad at that point. And I was like, I can't have him go down by himself.
Jealousy, man.
No, we were never probably going to find her.
Yeah.
And he went down and I went with him. And we kind of stood on the street. And I was like, how do you know it's this street? And he goes, I kind of recognize this building. I was like, right, okay. So we're looking, and being from that little bit of that world, being in that, because it's my turn to talk, you cunt. Being in that,
keep looking over that way.
Being in that wee bit of a world, I noticed just little things, and I was like, yes, it could be on this street. There's a black Mercedes van and yada yada yada. And sure enough, we stood there for 3 hours, on a street corner, did fuck all, and Dan for a piss. And she came around the corner.
I was going to say.
And he froze, completely just. And I had to physically push him, onto the road and just said hi.
Get a picture or anything? No.
Yeah, got a picture. He was on the radio. He was on the radio the next day because nobody knew she was here apart from basically him. I think she was over for an all. She does these things companies. She's that broke. He'll be really mad. She does these things. She gets paid money to sing. I don't think most artists would do this. They would go to Allstate Insurance, I think it was, and sang at the Christmas party. She probably got a big chunk of money, but only the Allstate executives knew, what she said. Only the Allstate, executives would have known that she was there. So it was supposed to be a dip in and a dip out. And here's this. This guy that just knew, exactly where she's going to be. So I get it. I understand it,
That's actually mad.
She's shorter than you in person, actually.
I know, I'm so short.
No, she's short. But I wouldn't be.
Short.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
What do you think he said?
What?
What do you think he said?
No, short. It's just brought something into my head.
What?
Every time I thought you were a midget.
I don't think you're allowed to say midget. Are you allowed to say midget? No, a small person.
Midget, anything
dwarf
underneath 5 foot.
Yeah.
It's a midget.
P3, that was. I remember. Brought me to the doctor, and I remember.
Do you think I'm one as well?
Possibly. Could have been as a child, maybe. We'll tell you the signs to look out for, because this is what my mum apparently was looking out for.
Me and our Liz, who were best friends, my sister, we were standing looking out through the window at the children all playing. Out in the green.
P3.
And I looked at him and I says, Liz, look at her, look. She said, right. I says, I think he's a midget. And she says, what do you mean? I said, look at all the fucking height of him. I says, look at the length of his arms.
Apparently my arms were really long as a kid.
Arms. I says, and he's real short.
I had a really big head at the time.
And our Liz says to me, I think you're right. I says, right, I'll take him to the doctors and see what can be done. So I took him to the doctors.
So I remember getting into the doctors, right? And just sitting down, and the doctor's like, well, Mrs. McKibbon, how are you? It's good. What's wrong with Luke? And she just goes, look at him. And the doctor went,
tell me.
Yeah, right. The doctor went, oh, right, okay. Yeah. You all right, Luke? I was just like, yeah, I'm fine. Don't know why I'm here. And The doctor turned to my mum and was just like, right, like you're going to have to explain it because like I can't see anything. And my mum goes, well, like look at the size of him.
Here's me, he's definitely a midget. I says, I don't know, I can't understand why nobody ever caught on before. I says, it was me watching him one day out through the window. I says, and it just clicked me
You
like
didn't
that.
even realise you were.
That's why everybody was calling at the house now for him. They must have fucking felt sorry for him.
No, it wasn't
I
popular.
wanted to tell everybody my best friend's a midget.
So the doctor says, well, why do you think that is? And she goes, well, look at his arms for a start. His arms are really long. And the doctor goes, yep. And then she goes, and he's the shortest in his class. The doctor goes, right. And then I have a cousin who's like a year younger than me, and she was a lot taller than me.
Yeah.
She's like a P2 is taller than him. And he was like, right. And he goes, well, someone has to be the shortest in the class. Like traditionally there is somebody, right? And
I thought I got the LA for him.
hoping for it. Yeah. And she goes, and like his arms, and he was just like, well, you know, like people grow into these. Like people just grow into their bodies. I mean, I'm 5'7", I'm not tall, but I'm taller than you. You fucking put a pillow on the sofa when you're driving, or on the chair when you're driving.
Couldn't, because my legs wouldn't touch my feet wouldn't touch the pedals. No, I'm not that stupid.
My friend texted me like a few weeks ago. I was just like, your ma almost hit me on the road. She shouldn't listen, folks.
Were your hands into the car?
And no one whispering, she should not be driving at all.
Who was it?
It was Nick.
He's a cheeky fucking land bastard.
He was walking the dog. He comes down our street to walk the dog, and he said, your ma just didn't see me. But when you look at her driving, like all she sees the French. She drove my car, right? I was on holiday one year, and I left the car at the house. I was living in Belfast. I didn't want to park it on the street. So I left. I said, listen, here's the keys. If you want to drive, like, it is what it is. You know, on you go. So I come home. I was in Gran Canaria. I come home, and I didn't have a wing mirror. Right? And we were walking in. My partner was walking in. Like, fuck off, So like, right? So like, I can be very just, you know, it's my things or stuff, you know, right?
Yeah.
So I came out, I was like, what? And Dara was like,
That's
listen.
kind of him.
Dara was like, calm down, right? And I walked in, what the fuck happened? She was just like, I was just driving past and a car clipped me. And I went, what do you mean a car clipped you? She goes, a parked car clipped me. I was like, a parked car can't clip you. You've clipped a car. And she went, oh, right, okay. I said, did you stop? She went, did I fuck? And I was like, right, okay. And it was like one of these, you know, wing mirrors, you know, like it had the sensor, you know, it has the blind, you know, so it wasn't just a wing mirror, right? So it was really expensive. I'd fucking scraping the barrel at that point, you know, all show, no savings.
It's my life.
Right?
I
Yeah.
can't remember the day that...
But I had to hold on. I said, well, she goes, phone the insurance. And I said, and tell them what? Tell them it was hit in a hospital car park. There was no CCTV.
Here I was down at the Royal. Tell them I was down at the Royal. And whenever I come back to the car, the wing mirror was hanging off like that.
So I did.
And I convinced myself that that happened.
Did you convince yourself? You seen it all happen?
Oh, aye, so I wasn't afraid to say to them.
That's so funny. Here, we have a few questions here. I don't know, like, there's some stuff I don't know. Like,
Let's see. Which one? Are they all?
Some are a bit serious and stuff. I don't know.
Spectre, whatever you call him.
Gotcha.
Norse. Spectre Norse is small. I think.
What was that?
I was going to say Spectre Morse.
I
Morse.
said that, Morse.
Oh, I thought you
All right,
said
we'll do
something else.
here.
Said
Well,
gotcha then, Morse.
we'll do this one. What was your reaction to me coming out of the closet?
There's no reaction at all I mean, you come out of the women and you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So there's a bit of a right. So obviously,
She's probably glad she could go back to
right.
the beach and be like,
I know,
fucking
fucking told you so. So when I moved to, like, when I obviously moved to America and everything, and 18, I was on my own. Like,
I
you're
didn't
20.
tell them, as you
Yeah,
say.
nobody. Well, no, I don't know. You didn't know yet, though. You know, yes, you knew, but you didn't. It wasn't like officially told. So it was my 21st birthday, right? So I was working, and you know, it was like your legal age of drinking and stuff, right over there. So me and my mates hired like a limo, and we were going into New York, and it was like the first gay club we were going to, and the day before, I get like a knock on my apartment door. It's fucking her, my sister, and my niece. Surprise! And I was like, hi. I was like, really fucking. I was a 1-bedroom apartment, by the way. I don't know where the fuck they thought they were going to be sleeping. I was on the sofa for a week. No.
I was on a blow-up mattress, and it had the plug was in the whole fucking time. I could have been electrocuted down it.
So my sister and my niece must have been in my bed then. So my
mattress.
sister was like really excited to like they come over because they thought I was going to be alone on a special birthday, right? And I was like, fuck, what am I going to do here? I had to like, so I was like, it wasn't even like texting back in the day. It was like fucking the flip phone. No, I think I had a sidekick at the time. I was texting like, right, it's all off. We're not going. My family has landed. And they were like, fuck you. Like,
Fuck you, I thought we were aliens.
like
The aliens have landed.
I was like, yeah. I was like, my family's landed. Like, I can't go. Nobody knows, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, fuck it. Like, we've all chipped in here. Like, we're still going. And I was like, fuck me.
Yes, fuck me, Israel. Because I'll tell you.
Wait, no.
You left the apartment before I was sleeping.
No, that's not what happened, right? So my sister pulled me aside and she's like, I'm so excited to go out for your birthday. And I was like, right. And like my sister, mummy would have worked a lot, so Donna would have looked after me as a kid. Like I would have been the youngest, so there's a big age difference between me and Donna. Like she's in her 50s.
51 just.
She's 51. You know, I'm like only in my early...
That's 15 when I had her.
Late 20s, I'll say, right? So there's a big age difference. And I was just like, listen... Well, I said my 21st. I'm 36. Right? So...
I see
yeah, were you trying to do the math there, were you?
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
So I said to Donna, listen, the club we're going to and the club you think we're going to are completely different. And she looked at me and she said, why do you think I'm over? Right? And I was like, oh. And like I just got really like I knew at that point like, oh, everything's gonna be okay. So we go out that night and my sister's like, right, when do we tell my mum? I was like, I don't want emotional fucking shit here, like weird awkward stuff. Tell her on the plane home. Donna comes home drunk that night and obviously spills the tea to my ma. And I think you were going to New York the next day. They were getting the bus in. I couldn't take off work. They were getting the bus in and I would work like really, I would start in the afternoon and work really late, like maybe 3 or 4 in the morning. And I come in and I was sleeping and I could feel a wee rub and I just knew instantly. I was like, oh fuck. And she just whispered, I know it's all right. I was like, fuck me, cringe.
So I never mentioned it before to him.
I just stayed asleep.
This wee fella used to call him a faggot. On his way home
Don't
from
say
school.
anybody's name.
No, on his way home from school.
Yeah.
And he got his school bag one day and he threw Luke's school bag into a puddle of water. Well, he'd done this a few times, so I thought, fuck this. So I went over to his mother's house and told her. I said, "Now, will tell you something?" I says, "He's calling my son a faggot." I says, "And if that name catches on," I says, "everybody will think he is one."
no one felt Riley
I
it
will not
was.
tell you. So she called the child out the door and she says, "Now, why are you calling Luke a faggot?" And he says, "Well, it's because he always chums about with girls and he always gets the best part in the plays in school." And they all carry his school bag and all. And the mommy says to him, "Now you apologise." And then she hit him a clip. Now she didn't, not a day.
I really don't mind. Like I had it. Yeah, we had a discussion.
I felt terrible. I really did feel terrible after it.
We had a chat about the word faggot the other day, like with a bunch of friends. I don't actually mind it. I love it. I'll own it. Yeah. It's like you take the power away from that if you just go, yeah.
You say yourself before anybody else.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love that word, faggot.
So, you can't say it. I can say it.
I only realised why it was offensive though. Do you know why it's offensive? I read this before somebody put this on me, and I think this is like my key in defence. You know what a faggot is?
It's a pork sausage.
No, it's a collection of sticks.
No, there's the butcher sell faggots. Yeah.
Fuck. Horse meat faggots.
No, there is. There's like they're called faggots. It's like on a grill.
But it's also a collection of sticks. And
right.
Partly it's called offensive because they used to burn like gay people. So that's why.
Oh no, it's not awful.
You still go to mass?
Pardon?
You still go to mass?
Of course do.
Honestly.
Of course do.
Yeah. Right, hold right. Oh, your thing is went off there. So that was the easy way of me. That was like an easy way of coming out. But how nice! Like, and we never really had
Really
a
nice.
yeah. And then my brother was a phone call had to be made to my brother because he was away.
Incarcerated. He
Away.
was in Montgomery jail, but he was out there working. Now,
That's another story. Like,
yes,
I told my
So-
oldest niece that he was away painting the Titanic.
I used to bring 3 children out every week to see him, and leave us £30, and H3586 is his number. And he stayed about 8 years, and I can still
Really?
remember that number. But anyway, I would have brought the children out, and I say, this is Dad's work. You know, I says, and sure, isn't it great? And they have a room and all, special room and all for him, and he gets his food and all free. I says, as well as his pay that he sends home to your mommy. So,
What does he do, Nanny?
Kelsey
Oh, he
says-
paints the Titanic.
Nanny, what is Dad's job? And I says, so he's painting the Titanic, love. I said, I know, for fucking thought. That was
That
the
like in
last thing that I
P7 you
was
learn about the
expecting.
Titanic.
And then she tackled me a few years later, and she says to me, Nanny, you told me a lie. I says, I did not. What lie are you talking about? She says, you told me that Dad was painting the Titanic and the Titanic sunk.
1912.
I says, oh, right. I says, well, must have been some more boat or something that he was painting. I says, I can't remember. I can't remember now.
So
We used to have to play Dad's work.
yeah. But the whole thing was my brother was like talking big, you know, like, oh, my wee brother's on TV. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
So I'm telling my ma, like, he's in there telling people, you know, they're starting. It's like starting to come on ITV at this time now, right? Like years later, and I'm like, you know, it's gonna fucking come out, and he's gonna be inside there.
He was first one. He said.
So yeah, so I said you're gonna have to call him and just tell him to like A, fuck up, or B, just you might
No,
just.
I didn't even.
You did phone him.
No, he had rung.
He rung you.
See, you would have went to visit him, and you're only in the house a couple of minutes. Back home again a couple of minutes, and then the phone would have rang and was saying, well, what about you? What's the crack? Right? And he says this day, now tell me the truth, Mommy. Is our wee Billy gay?
So he used to call me Billy Ray as a like my nickname.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I says, fuck off. He says, no, please tell me the truth, has he? I says, yes. I says, but do not tell anybody. The next thing I hear was, hey boys, my wee brother's gay. I'm going to call him Billy Gay from now on.
Right, but like
For God's
literally,
sake, there was Catherine Tate.
Yes.
Hear about our job.
Yeah. Oh, that's literally it. Like, and like, yeah, like my brother. So then when I like moved home, this is terrible. He cornered. No, I don't even know. It's offensive. Like, cornered me and just wanted to know the position.
She did.
No, he did.
We did.
Yeah, like, do you? And I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, right, that's okay then. I'm like, but I do everything else. He's like, I don't want to hear it. But everybody, like all my family, I would have been worried about them all. None of them were ever an issue. And then I would have thought the American family, you know, Metropolis, living 15 minutes outside New York City, you know, all this liberal, free, you know, shite that's spewed. And they were actually the complete opposite, you know?
I know.
Yeah.
How many here? This morning he got up, dressed on his way to school. And he couldn't find a pair of socks.
Oh, you're a cunt.
And I says to him, look, I'll get you a pair of socks. So I went upstairs, brought a pair of socks down, give him time, we put them on. So I would say about 45 minutes later, I never closed my front door. He busted into the dining room because the houses had been renovated, and instead of it being the bush house, it was now his dining room. And I had a table in all positioned in it. So he just busted into the dining room, and here he was, lock. And he pulled his trouser leg up.
There were grey socks with cheerleaders on them.
Pink
Cheerleaders. So I'm
The
sitting
young
in school.
fellas in the class were crawling up and down.
Yeah, my mom was like, "Who the fuck would notice your socks?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. We were sitting down, and you know, like
You sit down in
your
school,
trouser,
right.
right? They were crawling like this was like in
High
high
school.
school, right? You wonder why I left, right? Crawling under the table, lifting my trouser leg up, and being right, and I was just like, I couldn't go. Right, it was like break time, and I'm like, I can't go like another fucking period of class here. They were all from the West too, like they were like right. I was the only wee Lisburn boy, really quiet. Like they were like right. It was all banter and fun,
Right.
but my face was just fucking. So I walked out of school, but it was her. She fucking knew they were cheerleader socks.
I busted, me and our Liz was sitting, and I couldn't believe it. And me and her just busted out laughing, and the more we laughed, the angrier.
I ended up crying like.
He roared and cried. But I couldn't even fucking console him. I thought it was hilarious.
She just said I didn't think anybody would know. There's fucking, and I was like, you knew there were cheerleaders the whole time. Like I was just in a rush, late for school, and I just put them on. Obviously,
I was in a rush looking for a pair for you, so you take what you get.
sorry.
Right, so you're right, don't worry. Yeah, so you see it on MC ones. Not that
Right.
so I just want easy pick out some.
I don't know who that. It was a true. Do you know Adia, the best fighter in the Holy Family?
No, that's for me.
Oh fuck! Right, okay. I was gonna say, don't know who that is. Well, was she?
It's a boy.
Oh, Dia.
DA.
Oh, Da. Was he the best
He
fighter?
probably was.
Right, okay. Hi, Da. Wait, Da from the A team?
Who's probably in the EDA.
No.
It was not indeed. We're amongst company, mother.
Sure.
No.
Everybody knows about Damons.
I don't remember. I don't. His surname is Davidson. I don't know why it's DA actually.
Sorry.
You all right, love?
I have a mad face thing. Yeah. I get,
Affliction?
Like, electric shocks on my face.
Like an
you?
affliction kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
It's called sapien.
Really?
Called what?
Get out. And just get like a pain up your face?
It's like someone's sticking a taser in my face.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Are you making this up?
No, I said someone bumped my car,
Right.
and it wasn't that bad. And then I'm overtaking.
No, you're right.
Anyway, tell us.
She got like an abscess in her tooth. I don't really drink fizzy juice, and I was like shouting at her, and then her mouth was like, "There an abscess, here's me fizzy juice." And then I started getting this pain, and here's me getting to like sympathy pain from her because I'd never had.
Aye.
So when I had no problems for my tooth, but then I noticed I was getting when I was like pains in my face.
What are you called?
It's called traumatal neuralgia. So then it started getting, and I was like,
I've heard about that.
And the only way I can describe it is, it's like someone sticking a taser in my
Very
face.
dangerous.
So now when I'm eating crisps, anything like that, it goes up. But I've ran out of the medication. I'm on like anticonvulsant medication.
I thought you were going to say you ran out of the crisps.
No, definitely not. But yeah, it's just this random pain.
Mama will take you to the dairy farm and get to Sinn Féin. I can fill in a wee pip form for you. She's great for that.
Are you good at that?
Certainly. Certainly what?
Are you good at that?
No, she just
Aye.
knows the wee
What the
fella.
fuck would he hear? And down to get a form filled in, you call the wee man Michael. Well, he's left now.
Mate, right, has he left?
Yes, he's left.
Where is he?
But he thinks-
These names, like.
well, many Michaels are in the world. But anyway, my sister was away on her holidays, and this wee man that lived behind her in the flats, he was in his late 60s now. Liz was 10 years younger than
He's
me.
not in his 60s, love. He was a lot older than that.
No, this was whenever she started seeing him. And, well, he thought she was seeing him.
Aye.
And
He had
he
dementia.
bought her
What?
fiance card. You know, oh, aye, and he
for
bought
a
her a ring
birthday.
and she sold it. Oh, fuck, aye. So, and then she went out to Little's with him. He should have said, come here, look at this here, look at all the price of it. And he says, get that wee gal, get that. Oh, she had him raw blind.
Okay, she would have cooked. No, she would have cooked
But
dinners
she
and everything
cooked
for him.
dinners, she
Fuck's
looked
sake.
after him now, she did.
Yeah.
She did. But
Jesus.
the chicken in his fridge
Just
was
as well
green.
she's dead too.
Chicken in this fridge was great.
Green, it really was green. And we used to go around, me and Ardon used to go around to Liz's house on a Wednesday night for a wee drink, and Bob's used to make us our dinner. And we would say, Bob's, we're not hungry at the minute now, we'll eat it later on. Right, so I'd put it into one bag and bring it home. But anyway, what was I going to tell you about Bob's?
About Sinn Féin and
Oh yes, I took him down with my friend's mate and that week she was in her holidays, and he come everywhere in his slippers, right? And I think he just pissed himself and sat in it. He was rotten. So
No, like he really was.
there was one day.
Steal cigarettes and piss.
Oh, I hate that smell. What's
There
wrong
was
with it?
one
It's
day-
sharp. It's actually
He,
sharp.
he came. He came to Christmas 2 years in a row. Just to let you
Alright.
know. Yeah.
In his slippers and his wet pants. But anyway,
Do you like inviting people for Christmas dinner? Random?
love it.
It's what she lives for.
Love it,
Are
love
we
it.
random at Christmas dinner? It's the Christmas spirit, though, isn't it?
Certainly. Certainly, that's what I believe in. But anyhow, our wee Donnie Mac, my Matthew's wee girl, Ed Bob's loved her, and he says, bring wee Donnie in. And she came in, here she was. Had to go back out again and smell a piss. The dog had pissed on the mat, and he'd hung the mat on the radiator to dry out. So the piss was just
All right,
in
but
the
get to
air.
the Sinn Féin part.
So anyway, he came down with me.
She needs a
and
little
he
bit
was
of advice on how to fill in a form.
smoking it. He was, two of us were having a wee cigarette, you see. And I says, I put my fag out, and I says, Bob's, I'll go on in, for you can't keep that man waiting. So I went in and sat down and was telling him what the ALA was for, you know, what the ailments were. And
Well, it wasn't for you.
I was going to say it wasn't even for fucking me. But anyhow, Bob's come in and he just bolted through the door, and I think that wee man thought he was going to get shot. The way he jumped. Bob's bolted through the door and he says, pleased to meet you, pleased to meet you. And I thought, fuck me, pig. So I says, Bob, sit down, love. And I says, this man's filling the form in. I says, you have to keep quiet. And then I says, tell him, just for something to keep him occupied, like. I says, look at all the thank you cards he has got.
I have to say a little bit louder, love. Fuck's sake.
Look at all the thank you cards he has got. Well, then Bob's jump up. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And here's me, good fuck. I'm sure that man can't wait to get rid of us. But whoever's form it was that I was getting filled in, they got it anyway. Because the man probably couldn't wait to get fucking rid of us.
By the way, these are proper forms. Mummy just knows somebody who does it. Right. These are
Yeah.
proper ailments. Just let everybody know. Fuck's sake.
Oh, God, I
Could have all sorts.
I'd fill anything in for you. Aye.
She doesn't.
I'd tell as many fucking lies.
Oh, you do not. Jesus Christ, it'll be an investigation. She doesn't get it.
No. No, that's one thing you don't lie over, because it would come out to see you.
And then you'd owe it all back, you see, wouldn't you?
Oh, I would fall back on you, and I wouldn't give a fuck for the one to come in my house.
So someone asked just a lot earlier there, is anybody coming for Christmas this year?
Well,
So give a wee bit of a backstory for. Well, I'll give the backstory 'cause you go into too much detail. For the past 4 years,
you bastard.
but you do. So for the past 4 years, there's been strangers at our kitchen
Was it?
table, just from the street, right? So there was 1 year, Brenda and Darcy came. Never met them before in my life, so I'm expecting 2 people. Darcy was the dog. Sitting at
Fat
but like
thing.
sitting at yeah, it was a big dog, yeah. Sitting at the Christmas, like sitting at our dinner table, like our family, and it's awkward enough, right?
Aye.
Something like, you know, you wouldn't see a brother or two that, you know, I'm busy, you know, you're in Belfast, you see them weddings, funerals, Christmas, whatever. But to throw in like a fucking stranger, right? And there was no room at the table, so I had to take my dinner in the living room because Darcy the dog had a fucking seat. Like a full on, like
Them
my mum,
Bobs.
then Bob, so this old man,
Every year.
yeah, every year, pishy
I could not
Bob.
let that wee man eat green chicken for his fucking dinner. Like, I could not, indeed.
Are you a good cook? Is you a good cook?
Oh yeah, Mummy ended up like for the like
Chef, I was
yeah,
a
she was a
chef.
chef.
Really?
She was headhunted in the town like a few times.
Seriously, I was.
Yeah, and then I would get my cooking. Like she used to bring me to work then, like a Saturday, and I used to see her make like mince pies, lasagna, chicken pies,
Yeah.
salads, and I would have learned like just
Yeah.
from watching. But I'm a pretty good cook now too.
Honest to God.
Ask
Is that
her,
how you can't do?
ask her what she makes now though. Ask her what
do
she
you
makes
make
now. Ready meals from Marks and Spencers.
Why not?
I tell you, for fuck, I Martin wouldn't eat them.
Fuck
Oh,
off.
but
What do
they
we
the
pick
old
up?
one, but I wouldn't eat
You
them.
pick up the chips for the air fryer.
Well, that's
You pick
different.
up a Marks and Spencer's best lasagna. Or is a pizza bought? She's in her 70s now. She doesn't have to cook, but she could cook.
I mean, you have to have your lunch, you have to have your dinner, and then you have to have your fucking supper. So you're not going to stand over a cooker with a sweat pushing off you, cooking 3 times a day. Ain't on.
No.
Seen the time when I did it.
Yeah.
Then whenever they were all away, they got toast and oranges. You know, slices of oranges on their toast to cheer up a wee bit for them.
No, I never got that. Like, I'd be too old for that. Back in the day, there would have been that in my.
Fuck do you think I was given the supper till?
I
My
never
own children.
had. No, I think that's your wee childhood love. I never had toast and oranges. Yeah. She would have told toast, oranges, and she would have had bread with butter and a bit of sugar on it.
Bread with butter and sugar, I nice to have it.
Yeah.
But it was Echo Margarine.
What's
I
that?
went to a convent primary school. It was all nuns. There was no dinners or nothing in it, and no uniforms, of course. And you went to primary 10, primary 1 to primary 10. But anyway, Echo Margarine. It was as yellow as the sun.
There you go.
She would have sprayed that in the bread as thick as she could. It was like fucking cheese. And then she would have sprinkled sugar over it. And that was your lunch.
So could you imagine like me bringing a boyfriend home for the first time and be like, this is my mom? The stories you tell are just...
I love them. I think they're the funniest. It's the way she tells them and everything.
Tell the fucking truth. That's all you have to do. You know what I mean? Some people like it and some people don't like it.
Nope.
And if they don't like it, too fucking bad. You don't have to speak to me again. Oh, aye.
So here we actually have a good question. That this is all the MR questions are pretty much the same,
aren't they? Yeah.
So,
nobody really wants to talk about that these days.
I know, and they're pretty much they are sort of similar. We touched on a lot of them anyway, and I don't really want to touch about the stuff that you know what like that. So a good one though, and this is probably going to be our finisher, but are you going to start a podcast? You should be really good at starting a podcast.
No, let's start off with this is a finisher. So we're going to wrap this up. So just keep your chat.
You could tell that we were in that natural chat's better.
Pardon me.
No, so
Are you going to do a podcast?
so I wanted to do a podcast for the longest time with my mates.
Oh, fuck off. That's just ruined the whole fucking thing. Turn the lights out
Right? No.
with his mates. Why fucking not? He's used me all along on a fucking Saturday. Oh yes, to get himself into practice. Oh fuck. So I'm dropped like a piece of shit.
No, not at all.
Why
Not at
not?
all. No. So
Why
yeah.
fucking not? I'm only his mother.
No, I wanted to do a
maybe
podcast years ago, and it was going to be called. No, should it kind of say that? No, because I don't want anybody to steal it.
Well, you're going to say it and it's going to be yours.
Aye, right. Yeah, right.
Oh, actually, said
Yeah,
if
so I'll
anybody-
reference that. I'll just
What about
reference
mine?
that. Fuck off. You'd put people to sleep. There wouldn't be enough fucking buffering on the internet for you to finish. You wouldn't know when to stop.
Well, I wouldn't have to go to the doctor's.
Like a 24-hour news channel with all the gossip. It was going to be called Look Who's Talking.
Yeah. I got
Or my ma caught me in Dublin recently. I didn't tell her where I was going, and she had said to me, "What are you doing down in Dublin?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "The streets are talking. You're in Dublin." And I was like, "Who the fuck?" Because people in the co-op would tell her stuff, right, on Instagram, or whatever. And I'm like, "Who the fuck is ratting me out?" But I didn't realize I was going through the M50 tolls, and I wasn't paying them.
Oh, I didn't know you had to do that before.
Right?
Fines.
My ma was getting the fines. The cunt was opening up my post. So she knew I was in Dublin, right? So then I had another idea of like, it would be like a Look Who's Talking series, or like, you know, whatever, of like the streets are talking,
Yes.
and you drive around Belfast and chat. But
You want a box of tissues there, would you?
No, I actually don't. Do you tissues?
I'm going to cry.
oh,
I
So,
want to cry.
so that was the idea. It's
That's
not
fine.
there yet. It's not there yet.
I just brought the whole cut down.
I can't afford any of this equipment. I did order shit off Amazon once, and I think one mic picked up a voice. But maybe we could do
It's
something.
so fucking dodgy though.
Yeah.
Don't even trying.
Maybe we could do something, me and
There's
you.
no maybe saying up at time. No,
We'll see how this goes.
no,
Maybe
I'm not a
this will be the
second
test
half
run,
and nobody.
and then sure Connor
I'll help
could
you.
help produce
I'll
it.
help you out.
We'll have to give him a cut of the money, your pension to make sure you'll not make a penny off it. Like, but we'll just give him a cut.
And I asked him for people to say to me, do you get money for your TikTok? I says, fuck off. No, we do not indeed. You're bound, telling me, because you have that many followers.
I don't have that many. We get a lot of views, not many followers.
Or views, or whatever you'd call it. Then it struck me. Him. He would be getting them. I went to the toilet the other week in Marks and Spencer's to do a pee, right? Because I'd have a coffee when I come from the hairdresser.
Runs right through.
And then he would bring me a coffee down, so the old bladder was kind of way full whenever you get to a certain point. But anyway, he had said to me about going on his holidays, and he says, there's some lovely clothes in here. And I says, I can know. And sure, whenever I came back from the toilet again, wasn't there 4 shirts hanging on the fucking trolley?
Fuck off. No, you said to me, come on, I'll get you a few holiday clothes. And I said, what would your budget be? I was just thinking, like, you know, a wee shirt or something, £35. And she was like, well, like 160, 165, as if the $5's going to make a difference, right? Well, I'm going to get a Speedo for a $5. And yeah, and I was like, oh, I'll do 160. Fuck it, yeah, absolutely.
Know how much money I have.
Well, she's got like after all her bills are paid, right. So she's always worried about her direct debits. The 3 she's got fucking gone out, and I'm always checking her money to make sure it's right. The money's the bitch has money.
He's checking it.
She's asking me, like, I don't know if I could have enough. She's talking about a holiday,
She
right?
had herself new DM boots.
Absolutely, and I'm like, where are you going to buy this?
Sandals,
150. I looked at it. She gets her nails done. This terrible colour, by the way.
Well, it matched the trousers that I was wearing, so I thought.
She goes to Lisburn. I said, where? Yeah.
Did you see how many 6 months we legs in a notchback?
Faith. But I'll tell you what did happen. There's a new place that's open, Italian. How do you spell
Don't say the
diner?
name of places.
Huh?
How would you spell diner?
Diner.
Right, okay.
Wow.
Our Donna swears it's dinner. Instead of diner.
Oh, they spelt it wrong?
Uh-huh. But anyway, the border force did confess talking to a girl that worked on it.
For a restaurant.
They closed both doors. And one Turkish fella run out.
Bless them.
And they caught him.
Food was great
Bastards.
though. Food was good. I should have stayed.
Bastards.
No, what I love that she says, like, she'll say 4 or something, so like, for the bastard was called.
Just the one, God help me.
For I was down there, do you know what I mean? I love that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but like here, right? Yeah, right.
Was she laughing at her?
Yeah. Oh, honey, she has herself. She thinks this is funny, right? Like, so my ma delivers death in a very bad way, right? So my brothers died. Like, the first time when my brother Matthew died, my ma was just ringing round, right? It was like the fucking death. It was like it was printed already in the news. When my other brother died, I had to say to her, listen, you delivered that news like really bad. You can't be doing it. Like, you need to do it in a proper. She's just very blunt, right? Thought she.
There's no nice fucking way of saying.
Thought she learned her lesson, right? Like I coaxed her how to, maybe be gentle with people and whatever. I'm like, you say stuff like, are you alone? Are you sitting down? Or listen, I don't have the greatest news to tell you. Whatever. So somebody died quite recently, and I get a phone call at 12:05. I'm in work, and I'm like, it's a bit weird. And I'm like, right, okay. My mum's the type who doesn't leave a message or doesn't send. She just calls again, right? It's like she just thinks at some point you'll answer. My phone was ringing, right? And I had like a meeting coming up at 12:20. I was like, I'm going to have to take this because it's going to ring in the meeting. I called her. I said, hiya. She goes, hello, sorry, I know you're at work. I said, yeah, I'm really busy. What's up? So-and-so's dead. And I was like... And I was like, oh, this is how you deliver the news, right? So we'll give a name, right? I don't know, Patty or John, right? So hello, John's dead. I'm like, oh, right. Not like, are you sitting anywhere? Like, who's around you? Da-da-da. I gave her one day. Hold on, I gave her 20 quid one day, right? We had an old dog, Mindy, kind of going blind and shite, whatever, and she was her teeth were falling out and starting to rot, right? She's basically rotting to death. And I was like, here's a few quid, away and take her to get groomed, right? Get her nails done, clipped, and get her groomed. She'll probably feel a lot better. I'm sitting in work.
He'd probably fucking do that with me when I'm
absolutely.
I'm
pay for
it. All and doing my hair and my nails.
Absolutely, you'll be looking your best. And I get a phone call. Mindy's in doggy heaven. And I said, fuck, that's great. Is she loving it? No, she's dead. And I went, what?
So
I said,
it was
I said, what do you mean? She goes, I took her to the vet to get washed and whatever, and they said just getting her euthanized would be better. And I was like, right. She goes, so I said, I go ahead.
I know, but
She felt guilty.
Died, so it didn't.
She felt guilty, and I was like, but you didn't even let anybody say goodbye to
goodbye.
this fucking dog. Didn't like cook it a steak, its last dinner, whatever. Right? She was just like, aye, away you go. Like,
That's fucking if.
but you didn't. You went up to the vet with the dog to get cleaned, and you come home with no
The
dog.
fucking dog was dead. I couldn't be nuts about it. Did you want that for your fucking dinner?
But not even like, ask her this. Did the ashes ever get delivered home? No. Did we bury the dog? Nope. Where the fuck's the dog?
I don't know.
I mean, this is the
In an
sense.
incinerator somewhere.
Do you know what I mean?
But
She was embarrassed.
She was meant to get the ice back and she just left.
oh, flip
She
me,
was
I
like,
failed.
she's paid for somebody.
I failed 3 days ago.
Speaking of dog, yeah.
Result. Coming up the long stone. And there's this girl
I'm
coming
sweating like. Jesus.
My face
with a
is
big
so
dog.
sore.
And she couldn't really manage it, something wrong with her. But anyway, I don't know. The dog just come out of nowhere. Well, I mean, I knew she had the dog, but didn't I fucking trip over it?
Knocked her over.
And I went head over shite. And I was just lying there. And I was feared taking a stroke. For the head went all day. And the girl kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I thought to myself, I don't give two fucks whether you're sorry or not. But I ain't going to fucking
You pissed
sue
yourself,
you.
didn't you?
Oh, I did. Oh, I had an
She pissed,
accident.
she pissed herself
I
because of the
paid
shock.
myself, the shock. So I had to go to the butcher's. This week I come over with her husband. She says to me, come on, I'll lift you, love. I know like sometimes you would want to cry when something like that happens. And I thought, no, I'm not going to. I'll be brave here. So I says to her, look, I can't move for a wee Monday. I says, for my head's real late. So anyway, I got up and then Billy Brady come.
Oh, fuck me.
And he lives just up the street from me.
Don't
Dead
stop
on.
saying names of where people live. Jesus.
I'll add it.
No, it's alright. You can leave Billy Brady's name in. Like, fuck me.
Billy Brady's a real good friend.
I
of
know
mine.
he is.
But because one time my dog got lost and the whole estate was out, it was raining, and all you could see was these people walking about with umbrellas up looking for my fucking dog. Billy Brady put all the children in the backs of his taxi and drove around the estate and found the wee dog.
Good people in our state.
No
Yeah.
good. So Billy says to me, come on, he says, I'll walk you down home. I says, Billy, I have messages to get.
Oh, you didn't take him to the shops, did
And my
you?
back twisted. And I says,
Did you
I have to
take
go
him
into the
around the
butcher's here.
shops?
I says, to get half pound of sausages for me and Martin's dinner. He says to me, I'll give me the wee dog. He says, and I hold it for you. He says, and then I'll walk you down home. So I come out with the sausages and I said, Billy says, come on. He says, I'll walk you down. He says, for be fair to you, letting you walk down on your own. I says, Billy, I'm not going home. I says, I have to go to the spa. I says, for the whole pile of messages to get. He says, right.
You brought him over to the spa.
So we gave him the dog. No. But he seen me across the road. No. But I had to go to the spa and get my messages after that.
After you
Traumatic
pissed
thing,
yourself?
that traumatic thing happening was down around my ankles. But anyhow,
What were you wearing?
pair of dark jeans. I just squelched along. But sure, who the fuck would hear you?
I
Anyway,
haven't heard this
I'm
story.
coming down the green, and I kept thinking, I'm going to fucking faint here, right, Daphne, or I'm going to take a stroke. So I got into the house and said the messages down there. Martin was in bed, and I'm down into our Martin's room. And I says, Martin, I says, I'm only after falling. I says, I tripped over a dog. He never even put his toe out of the fucking bed. Didn't even say to me, you all right? Do you want a cup of coffee?
You looked alright. I'm sure you looked alright. Like.
I looked all right. I fucking looked all right. Fuck, I'm telling you, see when I seen that bake of mine in the mirror, it was as white as that umbrella there.
The story I heard was I didn't know you pissed yourself and Billy Brady helped you around the shops. The story I just heard was I get knocked down by a dog, but the person who owns this dog has this dog for a reason.
Oh.
Yeah.
To fucking trip people up.
No. She needs the fucking dog.
No, but the dog would have had more sense.
No, right. So when
Dogs
you
like
see,
that,
I know,
working
but when a working
No,
when a
it was
working
not
dog,
fucking
right?
dog.
When there's a working, we know who dogs work for, right? You move out of the way. My ma probably was standing gabbing away. It's fucking somebody, on the
I was
street.
walking along and I didn't even fucking see the dog coming.
Did it come from behind you?
I couldn't tell you. I really seriously couldn't tell you. I was just in such shock.
But you've been to a solicitor.
What?
You've been to a solicitor and she's putting in the claim.
Oh yeah. She said you fucking
How much could you get? How much could you get?
What?
How much could you get?
Well, from an hour's alone. I would get a brave penny, I would
She's very
say.
chippy and getting
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I'm looking at a house deposit. I may not have to move back in.
You were lucky you got a pasty fucking supper. But anyway, I have been talking to this girl the week before, and she's old, really fucking old, but she dresses well, and her hair's cut short, but it's not.
Don't
like
describe
it's
her.
style. And anyway, would say to her, God, you're looking real well. God, you keep yourself lovely. You have to bother people fucking up to get them to like you. Don't you really, like? And she was all smiles and everything. She asked me my name and all. And I asked her hers, but I can't remember. It's pity. It's a fucking pity.
Why, what did she say?
What?
What's the point of the story? Oh, is this the girl that knocked you down?
Yeah.
I can't keep up.
Yeah. Oh, I live. Wait, I'll tell you something. I bother with nobody.
No.
People bother with me.
So listen, I'm sure.
Where I go, it's like
I'm sure we could
every
do.
fucking head case.
We could maybe do a
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
We could do a weekly podcast. Maybe is it hard to do a weekly one? I'm sure you'd have a story a week. Like
Oh,
Well, he
what?
says to me one day, me and him was down the town, he says, you think you were run for Lord Mayor?
she doesn't. She just fucking stops at
Stop that
everybody.
many people.
Everybody. It talks to everybody. Like
I think actually, I definitely get yours on again. We could do a couple. We could do themed ones.
do a themed one. We'll see. We'll see how bad this goes.
It's going to go really good. I can already tell.
I don't
I won't
know.
have everything more up already. I can't stop laughing.
There'll be complaints. Billy Brady will be writing in. Being like, "Take my name."
Use your saying if you saw my house, many
But will I tell you,
Really, really small people.
Yeah, the blind people. Yeah,
I'm a single
talk about
woman.
border force.
I'm a single woman, and somebody, I had noticed a wee thing.
Oh, I
That
told her
woman lives
yes.
down the street from me. I would love to ask her down for a cup of coffee.
So there are
And
some
I felt like writing
comments.
back, well, why don't you? You fear not getting rid of me again or what? Or who are you?
There's
and
some-
I'll come to you.
There's some comments, right? Like so,
very
like
lonely.
like the Omniplex. Or not the was it the
We should do a
Omniplex?
podcast, yeah. Get her a date.
Oh fuck! Aye, yeah, the lovely. Anybody?
Set you up with a surprise
Yeah,
gift.
so he has to have money. Or she? You would go. You would maybe go for money.
For what?
Aye, a bit of money.
Fuck away. Oh, here we'll tell you. No, I forgot to tell you. Look, now this really did happen on my phone. I was on Facebook one day, and all I could see was this ditty, this like big white, but it was Snow White. Whoever owned it hadn't been on their holidays, and it said underneath it, "I hate being I'm finished with you. I hate being the fourth wheel." I thought to myself, fuck me, is that if I hit on some site or something?
You've said something like.
But then,
Was it a full ditty or like a partial?
no, it was the whole
Cleavage.
one, but it was only the one, bare, totally bare. And then there was this girl came on, and she had like a thing on her, and it wasn't tied at the front. She kept opening it and going like that there, closing it in, opening it and going, shaking them and all. Fuck.
Did you get a tingle when you saw that or no?
Thought himself, how am I going to get this rid of this off my fucking phone in case any of my children see it or my grandchildren?
No. So there are some there's some strange comments. Like I know we've talked about Protestants tonight, right? As a joke, Balmacash.
I love Protestants.
There's right. So there is. You have to sound more convincing. She does. I have Protestant friends. We all have family that are Protestants, right? But we did that. Was it the Omniplex? Is that the movie?
Yeah.
Right. Or was it the cinema? So we were just talking, and there's a lot of things like being like, she's a bitter bitch, your ma's bitter, da da da. But my whole thing was just
Cheeky cunt.
no. But that was mummy. That was my mummy's lived experience,
Oh, aye,
right? And some
100%.
people don't understand, right? Like I
What
think
it was like back in the day, in my day.
yeah, but like we don't have any problem with any. It was just the soldiers at that time called her a Fenian and spat on her. Spat in the car. But that was years ago. Like, I would have been only
You had to
very,
get out of
very
Lisburn,
young.
you see, and we would have went down to a cinema down in the west. Still there, what do you call it? Candy Centre?
Oh, okay, I sit there.
We would have went there. So we were going down to Candy Centre one day and I told him about what happened. I says,
You should tell all, you would drive past somewhere. We drove past an owner of an establishment whose wife, I think, was murdered. Right? It was like driving down this random, and she's telling this whole story, right? Do you know so and so? And she goes, all the level of details, right? They own that. Her wife was, or his wife was murdered with a kitchen knife. Like, all this detail, and I'm like,
My dad does that. You say somebody's name when we say,
yeah.
they're believe there's such was shot dead in the bottom of the nose. I'm like, how many people
yeah.
shot dead in the bottom
And
of
I'm
the
like, why the fuck do I need to know? This is a
you see,
kid.
and that's what he'll say to me. And if I go to mention that somebody's not well, don't know them.
I don't want to know.
them.
I don't want to know. Like, don't fill my car with negative
A
shit.
couple of years ago, I was on the holidays, right, me and my friend, and our other friend died. And the friend that I was with had been asked to do a reading at the funeral. And she says to me, would you ring your Luke? Here's me, fuck off, I will not indeed. Ring him and tell him anybody's dead. And she says, please, she says, and ask him if he would do that reading for me. So I rung him for badness. And I says, you've been asked to do a reading at a funeral. And he says to me, I'll do better, and that'll be the chief whaler. And hung up on me. That's what I got.
It was somebody I had no clue. It was a friend of a friend. What the fuck would I be doing a reading for? My ma offers things like, oh, look, I'll do a reading. Like, she's just. But we love. It was me. She was asking me to do a reading for like a
The priest
stranger.
in the chapel ask you.
I did a
would
reading.
you-
Yeah.
Would you like to join?
Fuck off. I would
Like
not.
reading about it during the mass.
Yeah.
Whenever
I did a
your
very good
turn.
reading once, and I've been asked back at Christmas. No, but we do love. Listen, we have no problem with our neighbours, right?
I like passing the plate round.
Yeah. No, she doesn't do
And then
that.
I drop
Fuck
it in
me.
this finish the ball back.
You were worried about getting barred.
Huh?
You were worried about getting barred from the chapel.
They wouldn't even know me.
Like we did. Listen, we did at one point. I had a few friends that were soldiers. Was kind of dating. I was dating one at the time ish.
Aye.
You know, on that app, you pick up people in your area, and he was at FIFA Barracks, obviously. Lovely guy. Couple dates. You know, you can't start, going on things and introducing friends, whatever. So he was all like, my mates want to go out. They're all squaddies. I was like, my mates want to go out. And I was like, go to the Kremlin. This is like years ago. It's like, yep. Perfect. Went to my friend's house on the bottom of the Schenkel, like Peter's Hill. And we were just having pre-drinks. And, they talk, oh, what do you do? And whatever. And they were all soldiers. And they were like, listen, leave your IDs here. Don't bring on any. Right, so they need to get back onto the camp again. Leave your IDs. Don't be bringing them. Don't be rowdy. You don't want to get in trouble. Just right. And I was like, oh, here, fair point. I just moved home from America, so I was like, oh, right over. We go into the Kremlin. We've left all of our keys and shit in his house. My friend fucks off to a party in Bangor. Can't get back into the the apartment. So all these squaddies are like, look at me, and like, where the fuck are we going? Like, we can't go back onto the base without the ID. We need our ID. It's in your mate's house. So I had to bring them all home to my ma's house.
If you don't fucking mind. I don't know, by the way, now.
Well, you did. It was fine. I told you.
I didn't know
Yeah, I
at
told
the
you.
time.
So a few of them are sleeping in the living room. I'm obviously with the person I was kind of seeing at the time. I think I woke up a week.
I'm laying the next room. It's one day I don't sleep at night.
Sure, you gotta take advantage anytime you can get it, right? So I wake up and I could hear ruckus in the kitchen. So obviously, like, I had texted my mom that night. I have friends staying. We got locked out. I wake up. She's making breakfast in the kitchen. There's like 3 of them sitting in the kitchen chatting away, right? And me and this fella, we kind of wake up. We come into the kitchen. Everyone's ha ha ha. Like, right, we'll drive us in. Book a taxi, whatever. And my mom kind of just like, she's making bacon eggs. She's making breakfast. She turns around. She goes, "Why do they have funny accents?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, like, they're English. They're from the camp." And she turned around and she goes, "Get them fucking out before your brother comes up the street."
If our Matthew had walked in, I'm telling you, it wouldn't have been much later.
But we made, we made
kitchen.
breakfast. He was around. This fella was around for a considerable amount of time after. Obviously I didn't get married, but It is what it is.
But I
Mummy-
have to wear a hat like if you got married.
I'm not getting married, love.
No, give you away.
No, I'm not getting married.
But you don't know. You
No.
never know.
I've talked
You
about
don't
that.
know
No,
the
we're not
future.
doing that.
You don't know the future.
This
She got to
said,
give you away. But
no,
you don't give you away?
absolutely not. I would. Why would I walk down the aisle? You can't. It wouldn't be me. Only one person walks down the aisle. Would you give me away for?
Give it to your husband.
Yeah, but I'm. We're getting into the science here. Sorry. There was how this relationship ended with
He was not my second man. No.
how this ended with said person was, you know, stayed over again. Mummy stayed over a lot. It's my bedroom, right? Mum just comes walking in one day as his legs are over my shoulders. You get that? So my bed faced like when you walked in, the door was here, but my bed was here.
Tell what day of the week it was.
It was a
Tell what
Sunday.
day of the week it
It
was.
was a Sunday.
No,
So what?
it was Good Friday.
Oh, was it? Right, sorry. Maybe right on a Thursday night, right? But the bed like faced the window, but the door was here, so obviously I was facing the door. Mummy opens the door, and I make complete eye contact, and she's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Get the fuck out!" And she was like, "Right, but."
What do
I'm
you
like,
want in your pizza?
"No, it wasn't. It wasn't pizza. No, it was morning time." And it was basically, I was making eye contact, right? Yeah.
Well,
It was
pizza
morning.
was another time. Good Friday was another time.
This was a Sunday.
They thought Christ was
No,
getting crucified in the cross in his room.
that was somebody else. Listen, my ma was. Listen, people are always like, "Back to your ma." So I'm like, my ma doesn't care. It's fine.
What? Just like the movie, I mean.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like I'd put the BBC News on World Service. You know that dude. She wouldn't have heard a fucking thing. But it was that morning. It was breakfast. It was a Sunday. We were out. Right. I'm making full eye contact, and I'm like, "Get the fuck out of my room." And she's like, right. And she was like stunned. But I'm like, please get out of my room.
Stunned.
She closes the door
Fuck.
and closes the
I nearly
door.
lost my fucking mind. I couldn't believe what I was saying.
Yeah.
Could not believe it. And I thought to myself, how am I going to
I'm-
face
I'm
out
like
on the street again?
I'm a gladiator, Mum.
Oh, you're more than a gladiator that morning.
Anyway,
I'm
she
a
stood outside the door closed, and proceeded to say, "I was only asking if you wanted anything for your breakfast." I'm like, "Get down the stairs."
That's the thanks you get.
Right.
You get a free photograph with it.
So this
Free dental
this
photograph.
this fella is like fucking. He's like, "Oh, I can't believe this, your ma." I'm like, "Listen, don't be worrying, no big deal, right? Ma's seen it all." And we go down the stairs. Like he has to leave at some
I
point.
think I'd been a lesbian at one time.
So no, but like you've been with a man, you've seen it all, right? So like we're very close. Like I have no problem saying X, Y, Z. Right? You know, she's seen it all. So we go downstairs. Like he had to leave at some point. So we go downstairs. My ma had breakfast on the table, waiting. And I was like, "Oh no, like so and so's gonna go now. Like he's get back over to the camp or whatever." And she turned. She goes, "Oh no, I've made breakfast."
I fucking hate it.
She was like, "Yeah." So she's
Okay,
like,
stood
"Fuck."
here. I picked that for you.
Witness that. And he's like, no, and she made him so uncomfortable. That was the last time we ever seen him.
Well, I wasn't going to let him walk out of my house after me making him fucking scrambled egg and toast and bacon. And the toast done on both sides, by the way. That was lure pack butter.
She is.
Yeah.
She's bougie now. Like, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, we could do a podcast, mate, to
Yeah.
get back to the final question there.
Yeah.
We could. We'll see how this goes.
Well, yeah, I think would definitely get them on again. Do you think so?
Oh, definitely.
I think
But
so.
here, really, hearing us.
Oh no, we're done. Love.
Oh no, we're finished. But here,
She doesn't get
I
out
says-
much.
I was, and I don't. I go to the shops and home again. You know, but I lead a bit of a colourful life, I have to say. Like, I like stopping to talk to people, and well, they're all internet. But anyway, what's I going to tell you?
I don't know. A bit of dementia stick definitely kicking in. Like I think. Would you go to a home? Look off. What were you thinking about?
fucking everything.
Doesn't know.
I don't know what it was.
Well, you know what? We'll think about it, and then maybe we'll come back another time
Yeah.
and tell it. How's that?
We'll turn the car and come back.
But no, here it was actually class having these on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy
Thank
it?
you so much for having us, Ned. It really did.
Just give me
And the
off.
tea was gorgeous.
Was it?
And so was that pastry.
Was it? What they ordered?
That pastry.
What they ordered for the
Oh,
one?
no
Just
tea
the
left.
one.
But you want the order one for you
No,
go
no,
home?
you're all right. And the tea
know you.
bags lying like a day.
Sure, listen. She's like, she's like one of these old people, wraps it all up and takes it home. No,
you
don't
have
be
it?
squandering it. No.
My sister had bought me a dressing gown one time for Christmas. Right? And it's real fluffy. And I thought, fuck, I'd never had a dressing gown like it in my life. But every time I put it on, I could feel something in the inside of the arm of it.
Oh,
But I was always too fucking lazy to look to see what, but I thought it was just the way the seam was sewed. So I was getting out of the shower one day and I thought to myself, I'm going to look at this. And I turned the sleeve inside out. And you know, when you get blood took, they put a plaster over you. That's what was stuck inside the arm, that fucking
Was
dressing
a
gown.
used dressing gown in the hospital.
Yes.
Can't.
The old fella
What did you
called-
buy? What did you buy? Probably something really in a
And
bottle
I
of
phoned
perfume.
her up and I says, tell her, and I was out of Dunn stores. So I rang her and I said to her, Liz, I says, have you still got the receipt for that dressing gown that you bought me for Christmas? I says, no, I'll have to have a wee look. I says, well, make sure you have a wee look, darn. I says, I definitely need to take it back. I says, because there was something like a foreign object inside it. And then she started to laugh. I said, do you think that's fucking funny? She says, of course, she says that was Bob's mother's from the nursing home.
She wrapped it up and gave it to you for Christmas.
And then when I had put my hand in the pocket, there was a biscuit with a bite in it.
God.
Like, hello.
Fuck off.
Oh, I mean, what more could you want for a Christmas gift? you could never
How do
beat
you know
that
you
one.
didn't bite the biscuit one night and fucking put it in your
Off.
pocket?
I'm not at that stage.
I think you might be.
No, definitely not. Right, well, I'm sure we're keeping you inside of putting all this.
I'm fucking starving. I haven't had my dinner yet.
Here, we're just gonna say then a goodbye. So I'm gonna say so I'm gonna say your TikTok because I'll forget it.
Yeah.
So it's everybody give them a follow on TikTok. Oh, look who's posting. I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I know. For more content and hope you liked it. See you there. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Oh, it's fast.